Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got some great news. Divi is just giving away for free 20 Flexbox headers for Divi 5. Obviously, you've got to have Divi 5 installed to be able to use these today. And I'll put this URL down below the video. And today what we're going to do is download them. I'll show you how to install them. We're going to change a default Divi header from something like this into something a lot more interesting like this, which I think was their number 14 that I just customized a little bit to fit my site a little bit better. Okay, once you get to the Elegant Themes page, read through it if you feel like it. Well, I'm just going to take you through it really quickly. If we roll down a little ways down here, we've got the little demos of what they're going to look like. I think I used number 14 for mine. And you can view a live demo right here. I'm going to go ahead and download the files. That's going to download them to wherever your default location is. Once you've got them downloaded, it's going to be in a little zip file like this. I'm going to right click and extract here. And if we look inside, under the default, we've got default headers that will actually inherit styles from your global styles. And if we go back, pre-styled, obviously, are pre-styled versions. Okay, once we got them downloaded and unzipped, we need to go to our Divi 5 dashboard here. We'll go down to Divi. Going to go down to our Divi library down here. We're going to go up to the top. We're going to import and export. I want to import. I've already got my pre-styled imported. That's what I built that header out of just now. You can just drag in the ones that you want individually, or if you want to upload them all, which I'll do here, I'm going to drag the Flexbox header layout all file and drop it in the little box by choose file there. Import Divi Builder layouts. Now, I didn't pause the video there. It's already done it. Fantastic. Okay, now we've got everything we need. We can go to our theme builder. That's going to take us to this page here. Now, here's the one I built just now. I'm going to get rid of it. If I save my changes now, and we go back to this page and refresh, it's put the original default header back in there like we had on this page. I'm going to close that out. Great. So once you've chosen which one you want, again, I'm going to use the pre-styled here. And I think I'll use number 14 once again, which was this one right here. And I'll show you how to make it your own. So once in the theme builder, we need to say add global header. And you can use these as custom headers for specific pages and posts if you want to. And we'll cover that in another video. I'm going to go ahead and add from library. I'm going to go to my saved layouts. Here's the pre-styled. I want number 14. It's right here. I'm going to go ahead and use this layout. And it's popped it in there. Let's hit the little pencil. We'll go to the editor. And here we have it. Here it's looking at a bit of a mess. The reason it's looking for a mess is they're using the loop feature here to pull in the menu, which is a great idea, but I don't want all these crazy pages. I just want to select a few that I want there, obviously. But our basic layout's there. You've got a little button at the top that you can put something in there, an announcement, and link it somewhere. Just click on the module settings or anywhere on the module. It'll take you straight to it. And we'll say new Divi theme or Divi 5 theme, flex headers, whatever you want to put in there. Obviously, if you want to link it somewhere, you can do that down below. And of course, you can change the background color. I'm actually going to be using what they've got there, so I'm not going to change that at all. Now let's sort this crazy menu out. Now what this is basically built of is just a simple button. If I click on the button, you'll see it's a button. And if you're not sure what's going on this page, you can always inspect it on wireframe view. Sometimes it makes things easier to understand. So we've got a button here. If we look down here, we've got it looped. It's pulling in pages. That's okay. It's got a bunch excluded here, like the cart and checkout. I really don't need any of those. You can delete these. You can leave them in there if you don't actually have these. There's a little X on each of those. Now I want to select just the pages that I do want. Only include specific posts. So if you click on that, it's going to give us a list of our pages here. So I want home. Click again. About. Services. And just one more contact, I think. There it is right there. Obviously, keep going for as many as you need. And if you've got a bigger menu and you think, well, I'll get rid of that button or the social, just hit the trash can and they'll get rid of those. That's going to work for me. That's fine. Now down below, we've got email, phone, showroom. That's quite funny as we've got all those cars and hours. Obviously, go in here, change it to what you want. Again, these are just heading modules. I will leave mine just as they are. This one's just a little text module with an email address. It's got a link in it, mail to. Now that means when they click on it on a mobile phone or on a desktop, it'll bring up their default mail client, but you do want to put your email address in there, whatever it may be. And then whatever you want it to display down there. I probably have my email address displaying as is, as they've got there. Great. Don't want a title or anything like that. If you want to change that link color, you can do so up in the text. Just hit on the little chain right there, change it to whatever you want. I'm going to leave it that light blue. It works with what I'm going to have going on in it. Okay, I'm going to make some changes now to make this fit in with my actual site. Now, you, like I say, inspect environment view if you want. The whole thing's wrapped in a section right here, the blue tab. Then we've got one row with that little button or announcement in it. Another row with the logo, social media follow, and a button on the side. And then another row with our headings and text underneath. So I'm actually going to go into my section and give it a color background. Let's flip back so you can see what's going on. I've gone into the section, the blue tab here. Background's always under content there. I'm going to give mine a dark gradient. Second tab's gradient. Left click to bring it up. On the top, I want it to be a fairly dark grey. On the bottom, I want it to be a black. Fantastic. We can close that up now. Now, of course, I can't really see my buttons or my social medias very well. I really want my other things, the colors that I want them. My logo is looking awful there as well. Really easy fixes. I've got a light colored version of my logo. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to trash that image, add a new one, scroll down to where my logo is located. There it is right there. I'll pop that one in. That looks a bit better. Now, of course, the menu buttons here, can't see those at all. I'm actually going to use the default blue on these and have them go to a darker blue on hover. So we only need to do one because remember this is only one button loop. So if we click on our first button or any of these buttons, we'll take it straight to it. We go over design, button, button background. Well, I'm going to use the default dark blue there. Perfect. But when they hover over it, I'm going to make it a darker blue. I've got this color saved over here. So on hover, go up to the little desktop type icon, left click, click on hover. We can change it to any color we want. Got that saved blue. I'm just going to paste that in there. Perfect. So we'll have that on hover. Let's switch back to desktop. Little arrow, back to desktop. Now I think I'd like to make that button text white or light in color. And of course you can make it bigger or smaller if those buttons are too big for you. So if we go down to button text, I'm going to change it from black to white. That'll work for me. Now it looks like they've got a little black border around them. I don't think I want that. I'm just going to separate them a little bit. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So just above the button text, we've got button border. Now roll down, I'm going to take that away. And they're actually touching like that. But I do want a little bit of separation between them. So still in the button, remember we're looped here. If we go back to our content, the button's looped, which means we can go into the column it's sitting in to design, layout. It will be selected as flex. There's no horizontal gap at the moment. So if we put one in there, it'll space them out. I think that's going to work for me. Perfect. Now with our social medias, again, you want to go in there, you want to put your link into your Facebook under the link in each of these, the appropriate social network there. If you want to add one, you can add one that way or duplicate one you've got styled up already. Now we can't see mine, so let's go over to design, icon, and make that white. And it's got a border around it. We'll make those the default blue. And again, if you want to separate those, we can do it in the actual module itself because there's 3 of them. Back into design, layout. Here's our horizontal gap. Again, I think that's going to work for me. And then we've got a little button over here on the side. We just go in there. Obviously, put what you want the button to say. And very important, the link to where you want to take people there. Always best practice. If you're linking to your own site, leave it in the current tab. If you're linking offsite to somebody else's site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Okay, for the button itself, we need to go over to design and then the button. Button background, I'm going to do the opposite of what we had before. I'm going to put the dark blue in there. And then when they hover over it, I'm going to have the light blue. I think that's the exact one. Yep, that's the right one. But I don't want that white border around it at all. So let's roll down. Button border. Again, I can just go down, either make it transparent, or just take it down to nothing. Perfect. Starting to shape up nicely here. Now we've got these sections right here. What I want to do, these are the actual columns, it looks like, that are sitting in the row. So if we go into the row, and we'll go into our column here. Background. I'm going to use that dark blue once again. So I'll just paste it in there. And I want the same across all 3 of these. So what I'm going to do is right click where it says background there, extend background attributes. The column, extend to location, just this row, parent row. Just to the columns. Design attributes, background, perfect. Let's do it. Great. Of course, I can't see my email here. These are all headings right here. Let's go in there. Design, heading. Don't want it to be an H1. I'm surprised they left it as an H1. I think I'll make it an H3. Because it's sort of minor heading, really. Font's fine, everything like that. I just want to make it white. I think we'll bold it up at 2. Perfect. And another way to extend is just by right clicking on it, copy heading text, click on the next heading module, paste attributes, paste headings text. You know what to do next. Perfect. Link's okay here. We want to go into the text module, into design, make sure we're on the body text, pick a color. That works for me. And again, we can copy that, right click, text styles, and again over here, text styles, fantastic. Now we've got a bit of black hanging out of the bottom of our header right here. That's not going to work for me. And that is a bit of padding on the row and a bit of padding on the bottom of the section, I think. So we'll go into the row, green tab for the row, design, spacing, padding. I'll make sure I've got 0 on the bottom of the row there. Still a little bit left. That's going to be in our section. If we go into the blue tab section there, design, spacing. Yeah, we've got 10 on the bottom. Let's uncheck the chain so we can have individuals on each side. Put a 0 in there. Still got the padding on the top there, the 10. It's great. I think one more thing I'm actually going to do is just give this a dark blue on hover. I think that's the row background itself. If we go into there, content, background, yeah, it sure is. we flip it to hover now, I'm going to have it go to that darker blue. Right. So that's shaping up. I'm pretty happy with all that. We've got everything, the colors that we want and everything. This is what we're going to see on desktop. This is what we're going to see on tablet. And this is what we're going to see on mobile phone. That's pretty cool. So let's save everything and check it out. I'm going to save. I'm going to exit. Make sure everything's saved here. Back to the page now. There's our default Divi header. When I refresh now, we should have this heading on all pages. Perfect. I think with my original, I had that fading from the dark blue to the lighter blue up here. I'm sure you know how to do that. That was just in the column and the background. Just go to hover, put in the light blue. That's the default blue if you want that to happen. But apart from that, I think we're good to go. If we go to the About page, it's not actually going to our About page. I wonder if we can fix that problem. Let's go back to our theme builder. We're going to go back in there. Back into our little button here, which they're using for a menu. Link. Button link, we want to go up to the dynamic content tab up here. And go loop link. You don't want to put anything before or after. Just want to apply that. We'll save our changes now. Let's go back and refresh this. So home we know about. Fantastic. That's great. Got a page here that's obviously running with Divi 4 compatibility mode. But those links are working absolutely perfectly. If I go to my blog post, you'll find we've got a different header because I've done a custom header for that. And we'll cover that in another video. But if we go back to the home page, there we go. So there you go, guys. There's 20 free headers from Divi. You've got styled, you've got unstyled. And I hope this video has showed you how you can adapt those, change them for your own needs on your own site. Well, a bit of great news today. Folks over at Elegant Themes have just released 20 Flexbox footers for Divi 5. It's a free download, as you can see. I'll put this link down below the video. And I'll show you how to download, install, and customize them. We've been working on this page with our little pop-up info button. I switched out the default footer that had orange writing for one of these and customized it a little bit, and this is what we ended up with. Great little footer, works fine on this little page. So let's get started. Once you get to this page, you're going to want to download them. If we roll down a little bit, have a look at the video and read through if you feel like it. There's some good stuff there. Just hit either the download 20 Flexbox footers or download for free. It'll take you right there. Once you get there, hit the download files. It's going to download it to your default download location. And once you've got it downloaded here, it's going to be a zip file. So we need to extract it. I'm just going to extract mine here. And it gives us two folders there, default and pre-styled. And it tells you all about those further down here. And have a read. If we go back up to the menu at the top here, if you want to preview them, just click on preview. We passed it up just now on the way back up. There's a little video telling you about them. Or just down below that, they've got the examples, footer 1, footer 2, footer 3. Footer 3 is the example I used for mine. And we'll use that again today. Okay, once we got them downloaded and unzipped, you want to decide whether you want to use a default or a pre-style. And like I say, just read down below if you want to use it. If you've got custom colors set for your site, default's fine. I'm going to go ahead and use the pre-style. Just open the folder. And we've got a bunch of JSON files here. Like I said, I used 3 last time. I think I'll use that one again. To use these, we need to go down to our dashboard. We need to go down to Divi, Once at Divi, go down to your Divi library. And we can import by using import and export. I've already got that footer imported here. Let's just delete that. And we'll re-import and start again. So I'm going to hit the Import Export tab. I want to hit Import. Now we've got our list of files over here. If you roll down a little bit more, the one at the bottom will load all of them for you if you want to. I'm just going to load the one I want today for mine, which is footer number 3. I'll roll back up. There it is. I'm just going to left click, drag it, drop it where it says no file selected there, or you can hit the choose file button and navigate to it if you prefer. I'm not going to import presets. I'm just going to import it as is. Import Divi Builder layout. Great. That's been imported. If I roll down again, it should be here somewhere. There it is. Pre-style Flexbox footer layout 3. Now, how do we use this? Well, we're going to build a custom footer just for this page. To do that, we go back to our dashboard. This time we're going to go down to Divi. We're going to go down to Theme Builder. Now this page is called Nebula Phantom, and I've got a custom header at the top here. And let's get rid of that custom footer. And I'm just going to grab the global footer and drop it in there also. Now if we save our changes and we refresh this page, we'll have the global footer, which is okay, but I just thought the orange kind of clashed with the blues that we've been using for everything else on this page. So if we go back now, like I said, I didn't like the global footer, so I just deleted it. I'm going to say add custom footer. We've already specified up here that we only want it to be on our Nebula Phantom page. If you go up to settings, it says specific pages there. I just selected Nebula Phantom. If you want it other pages, only published pages will show up here, but you can select any of your published pages to put it on. Great, well let's add a little custom footer. I'm going to hit Build Custom Footer. I'm going to go over to Choose Pre-Made Layout. I want to now go up to my Saved Layouts. And if we look along here, here's Pre-Style Flexbox Footer Layout 3. I'll click on it. Use this layout. And it's popped it in here for us. Just exactly what we wanted. Okay, well let's make it how we want it. The background's okay. I'm just going to chuck an image behind there and blend it with this dark color here. So I'm going to go into the section, the blue tab. Background's always under content here. Could go with the third tab. Let's add a background image. I'll do. Now obviously that's way too in your face, can't read any of this. So let's blend it with that color there. We're just rolling down. I'm going to multiply. Now all we can see still is the color. If we go to our color now, because it's a black, it's taken over everything. You could change it to a blue or something like that, and it will multiply it with a blue. But I'm happy with that black. Let's just reset that. We'll add that black in there. And all I'm going to do is take the opacity slider down till I get a hint of that image in the background there. Something like that. Obviously, whatever works for you. Maybe not quite so much as that. There we go. Okay, and let's make sure this is the blue color that we want it to be. Background. Let's get rid of that. I've been using the default light blue, so let's go ahead and add that one. I'm going to take the opacity down a little bit. It's 100% by default. I'm going to make this 75. So we've got a little hint of that image behind there. And then when they hover over it, we go up to the top, this little desktop icon here. On hover, let's make it the light blue. And again, about 75% opacity there. Great. Let's flip it back to desktop. Okay, what will we got up here? We've got a heading, it looks like, or a title. I'm going to make mine dynamic content. I'm going to use the page title for this. So in the content where it says heading there, I'm going to hit the little disk icon. I'm going to go down to post or an archive title. Button's not really styled the way I want it with the rest of my buttons on that page. We've got sort of blues and dark blues and white borders and things. So let's do something similar with this. We can go into this button, over to design, button, Button background. Well, again, I use that default blue. And let's pull that opacity down a little bit for our button again, 75. And then perhaps when we hover over it, let's make it a real dark blue, whatever works for you. And we'll flip it back. Desktop mode. That's great for the button. For the border, just want to make that light in color. All round. Perfect. And the text itself, all I want to do is turn that light also. Now we did give our buttons a little glow with a bit of box shadow before. If we roll down a box shadow down here, I think we use that one. But if we use that blue, I'm not quite sure whether it's going to stand out a lot. Let's just try it. Yeah, it's put a little something in there. That's fine. Great. Well, moving on down. Now, any of these rows or columns you can get rid of if you decide you don't want, or if you want less columns, you can go into the row and change it out. I'm going to work with what we've got here. I'm going to put my logo in the top here. And here we are over here. Don't want it to be as big as that, so let's go into perhaps design. Sizing, I'm going to make mine maybe 120 pixels, perhaps 120 px per pixels. Yeah, that'll work for me. Fantastic. And let's give it a dynamic link to the home page as well. If we go into our content, link's always just under the actual image there. Image link URL, I'm going to click on the dynamic content icon again. I want it to link to the home page. Perfect. Okay, we've got a little text module here. I'm going to use the page excerpt from here. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, I will show you in just a moment. So I'm going to click on the text module. Again, I'm going to hit the dynamic content. Post excerpt. That's fine. Don't want to add anything before or after. Number of words, I'm going to stick mine to about 20. Don't want too many on the footer there. Now, color-wise, let's go over to our text over here. Let's make it the light blue we've been using down in text to color here. We should be able to extend this by right-clicking on text colors, extend text color attribute from text. Yep. I want it just to the parent row that these 4 columns are in. All modules. Great. Text color. Let's try it. Great. Let's turn those the right color. Okay. Moving on, I'm going to change the company to products. I'm going to have a few of the other cars appear down there because they use a bit of loop content here, which is fine. So let's change that from company to perhaps products. And if we go into this module here, they've got loop post title there. This is okay. I'll just reset that. Let's just loop this first. I'm going to go into there. I don't want to loop pages. I want to loop my posts, which is where my car models are. So I'm going to left click. I'm going to go to posts. I'm going to select the category type, which is supercars, where all my supercars are. Let's throw 6 of them in there. Default's 10. I know you can't see what's going on, but if I now go back into my little module here, if we go back up to the content now in the text, I go to the body, hit the dynamic again, loop post title. And it's brought in those little titles from our little blog post there. I think I might capitalize those over in design. Perfect. Now, if you wanted to, you can make them semi-bold or bold, make them stand out a little bit more. I think that'll work for me. Next to us, well, we've got our regular address in there. I'll leave that how it is. If you want to add another number, we can just go in there. Let's copy this original number, drop down one, put in a new number there, whatever it is. You can have one for a fax, one for a phone, whatever you want there. But of course, you want to put in your email address here. So it'll be nebula@phantom.com. Then, of course, make sure this link, by selecting it, hitting the link module, it's a mail too, so that's great. Oh, we're getting there. Oh, we got some social medias here. If we go in here, let's perhaps add a couple more. I'll just clone the Instagram twice there. You go in there, choose your network, obviously. Yeah, let's throw a LinkedIn in there. Don't want a background color in there. So I'm going to take the background away. Background again, always under content. And of course, the link, you're going to want to link to your social media pages that are appropriate for these icons there. And the last one. Let's throw in Pinterest. Again, background, I'm going to get rid of that. I think all my icons, I'd like to see this similar blue here. Let's go back into the main social media follow module here. If we go over to design, here's the icon. We can set them all in one stroke by choosing that right there. Perfect. Now I seem to be a little lost here with some space. I'm actually going to use a featured image for the page. And I did say I'd explain to you what an excerpt, what we've got going on here, and what a featured image is. So I'll do that in just a second. Let's just add a new module. I'm going to add an image module right there. For this, again, dynamic content, featured image. So whatever page this footer's on, it will pull in the featured image for the page. And I know, I'll show you in a minute what that is for anybody that doesn't know. And also the excerpt from that image. Great, well, we're getting there now. Just got to sort out the copyright statement, make it ours and not theirs. So if we go into this module, they're using a bit of dynamic content there. We need to really reset that and we'll add our own. So again, let's hit the little dynamic content. I'm going to use date, current date. Before it, I'm going to write copyright. Then the copyright symbol, which is what they call an alt code. So hold down your alt key and type 0169. It'll give you the copyright symbol. Okay, after that, I want the date. So I'm making a gap there. Then after the date, I'm going to put another gap. I'm going to put a pipe. I'm going to say system 22. Now, it's given us the day and the month here. I really only want the year, so we can customize that, the format here. Now, there isn't one that fits for me, but if we go in here and put a capital Y, it'll just give us the year. If we put a small y, it'll just give us the last two numbers at 25. If we make that a capital, it gives us 225. That's going to work perfectly for me. And again, I guess we'll turn this to text that similar color. In design, text. Great. Okay, well, let's save everything here. We'll exit. Just make sure everything's saved on this page. Now, I'll quickly show for anybody that doesn't know where the page excerpt and featured image come from. So if I go to my page here, actually, I've got it open right here. We'll go here. And if we actually go up to the page settings itself, up the top to the page, here's where you've got the page title, which title we've given this page. Here is where you put in the excerpt, something about the page, and that's what it's going to pull in on that footer in a moment, and the featured image for the page. And if there isn't one, you just add one. Use the same one as I used before. Great. Make sure everything's saved. And if I go to this page now, we've still got the old footer. When I refresh, because we saved everything, we should have the new one on there. Let's refresh. Roll on down. There's our new footer. It's pulled in that bit of blurb from the excerpt right there. We've got our little posts here. If we click on one, it should take us to the specific posts. Perfect. We've got our contact details. We've got a mail to right there. We've got our social medias. And we've got a little featured image right there that's pulled in from the page. And we had a little hover effect over here with a button. And obviously you can take people wherever you want with that button. But it just fits in a little better with the scheme that I've got going on here. And as you can see, really easy to customize. So there it is, 20 free Flexbox footers from Elegant Themes right there. And I'll put the link to this page down below. Well, we got a great one for you today. We're working with Divi 5 again. We're taking a look at the great new group carousel module that they've just brought in. And today, they've got a free download of free carousel designs for Divi 5. This will only work on Divi 5, obviously. And I'll show you where to download them, how to customize them for your own needs, and loop them if you need to. Really easy to do, and you can come up with some great results like this in no time at all. So the first thing we want to do is go over to Elegant Themes here, and I'll put this URL down below. We roll on down, have a read, have a look at the video. If you want to learn more about these things, we'll be doing more videos over time. If you want to download, hit the download for free button. Now yours might ask you to put in an email address, but it is absolutely free, no credit card or anything like that. Mine's already got my email address in there because, of course, I've got a lifetime membership. Hit the download files. It'll download them to your default location. Okay, once the file's downloaded, it's going to be a zipped file. So if we go in there, just right click on it and extract it. And it's given us 6 JSON files right here. The first 4 are individual carousels. The last one there is if you want to download all of them. Now let's just see what we've got here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we roll back up, they've got examples just up above. There's the 5th one, 4th one, 3rd. That's the one I use today, carousel number 2 and carousel number 1, and they're all really useful. So now we've downloaded and unzipped the files, all we need to do is go down to our Divi library. So go to your dashboard. Once at the dashboard, go down to Divi, and then Divi library. That's it right here. Now I've just trashed the one I loaded just now. To import these, just hit import and export. I want to import. So I'm going to drag my files over. And I want number 2. So I'm going to left click on it, pull it over, drop it where it says no file selected. Or you can hit the choose file and navigate to it if you prefer. Don't want the presets. Just going to import. Fantastic. And that took about 10 seconds to load there. And there it is, default Divi carousel section 2. Great. Well, let's have a look at this thing. We'll either start a new page. I'm going to go to the page I was using. Here's the one I just built just now. Let's add a new section. And to load these from the library, we're loading them as sections. If we look back at that library item here, carousel section 2, it tells us it's a section right there. So let's add a new section. I want to add from library, and there's our default carousel section 2 right there. Bang, and let's put it in. Let's get rid of this top one. And here we have it. By default, it's got the 3 slides showing, and I'll show you exactly how this works in a moment. We've got some nav arrows right there, so we can navigate back and forth. We just click on the carousel itself now. See, we're in the group carousel. And here are the actual carousel slides. And what they've got going on here, they're just using a background image on the slide itself. So if I go into one of these slides by hitting the little pencil right there, you'll see it's got a background image. That's what we're seeing here on each of these slides. And the title up here is just a module they put in there. It's a heading module in our case. And of course you can write in whatever you want and customize these individually. If we go back into the actual group itself, put your own image in there. And you've kind of made it your own. Well, I guess I should have said motorcycles, but that's fairly irrelevant. Now you can go through and you can change each of these and make it do exactly what you want. Of course, up above here, you can put a link in, but I'm going to cheat a little bit. If I go back to the main settings here, group carousel, I'm going to get rid of all of these. And I'm going to make mine loop my carousel posts, and I'm going to use the feature image for the background and the title for the heading up there. So let's get rid of all of these. Like I say, you can customize them individually, make them your own, or even start from scratch. So we got one there. Okay, we want to make sure we go into our carousel slide. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go to loop. I'm going to turn it on. As you can see, it's just thrown 10 of them in there. I want it to be post type. I want it to be posts. I'm going to select my category of supercars. You can exclude posts here. I think only include specific posts here if you just want a few. I'm having all of mine, but I've only got 9 of them. So I'm going to say post a page. I'm going to put a 9 in there. Fantastic. Now, for anybody who doesn't know exactly what I'm doing here, let's go back to the dashboard. I have posts on this particular site, blog posts, if I go in there. A lot of them are these crazy fantasy supercars right here. They've got a category of supercars and concept cars, etc. But if we edit one, we created a blog post template to make them a lot more interesting looking. But each of these has a title, a little excerpt right here. We're not going to be using the excerpt today. And each of them have a featured image. So we're going to be using the featured image and the title to pull into our carousel today. Great, well, let's go back. Now that I've got it looping and told it what I want it to loop, if I close up our loop now, just above, remember it was just showing a background image. For the background image, just click on the image icon right here. I'm going to get rid of what's in there, and I'm going to tell it insert dynamic content with a little hamburger or disk icon right there. I'm going to say loop featured image. And it'll pull in the featured image from those 10 posts right there. Great. Well, I'm pretty sure you know what we're going to do with the title bit up here. We can go into the heading module. Just want to check, because sometimes they leave this as a heading 1, and I really don't want it to be a heading 1. It's not good to have too many heading 1s. Let's make it a heading 3. The size is fine there. But what we actually want in it, under the content up here, is let's get rid of the cars there. Just hit the reset field. Again, I'm going to hit the dynamic content. I'm going to say loop post title. And it brings in the post title right there. Now, I know you can only see 2 there. For some reason on the back end, it just shows 2 unless you hover over here. But there will be 3 on the front end. Now you can change the amount that you show here in the carousel settings. Let's just apply that. The only other thing we want to do while we're in here is the actual group module itself. I'm going to click on one of the group modules. And for the link, I want it to link to the actual post itself. So group link URL, again, dynamic content, loop link. Fantastic. Just apply that. Now if we go back to the main carousel settings, group carousel, we've got our settings right here. I'm going to turn automatic rotation on in a minute. We're using center mode. If you turn that off, it just turns into a regular carousel that doesn't make that center one bigger. Transition speed going from one to another is 200 mils, which is okay when you're doing it manually like that. I want to slow it down a bit because I'm going to have mine on auto. So I'm going to make mine perhaps half a second, 500 milliseconds. At the moment, we're only showing 3 slides. You can choose to show more if you want to. The 3 works fine for me. Each time it scrolls, it's only scrolling by 1 slide. That works for me too. Elements that we want to show. Well, we've got our navigation arrows right here. You can choose a different icon if you want to. That's pretty standard though. What I will do though is I'm going to take that color away from the background there. I don't like that black background. So if we go to design and arrows, here's the background, I should say. Let's just trash that one. If you want to make those arrows a different color, you can do that too. Make them that default light blue we've been using on the rest of the site. That'll stick out pretty well on those grayed out images. We just close this one out. We've got active groups and we've got groups. The reason these are grayed out, they're in the groups right here. And what they've done, they've gone down into the filters there. And they've taken the opacity down quite a bit to 33%. And they've also taken the color down with the saturation just up here. So if you want to bring any of that back, you can do so just by going in there. I quite like that effect. Not sure I want quite so much opacity, but we'll take it back to how it was. And that's entirely up to you. I think we'll go for 50%. How's that? Great. And for the active one just down below, you've got all the same settings. I'm going to leave it just like it is. If you wanted to have that one with different filters or different background, you can do so here. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy. Let's go back to our content. Make this animate automatically. So we can close up our elements there. Carousel settings, automatic rotation. I want mine to be perhaps 4 seconds, which would be 4,000 milliseconds. And we should be good to go. Let's save draft. We'll close down that little preview we've got going. We'll open up a fresh one. And there we have it. After 4 seconds, it should start rotating. Brilliant. It's taking half a second to slide between one slide and another. When I put my mouse on it, it should pause. As you can see, there's a hand icon there. This should take us to this specific blog post. Perfect. Everything's working just exactly how we want it. Of course, you can navigate with these as well if you want to go the other way or check something out. But that's a really nice little addition, and we'll be doing a whole lot more with the group slider module as we go forward. Now, don't forget, this particular one you can download for free from this elegant theme site right here. And as I say, I'll put this URL down below. Divi 5 here are introducing the CSS Grid, and it's absolutely awesome. I'll put this link below the video. They got some demos you can download here and start using it today. If you just roll down to the table of contents here, you can get the CSS Grid demos. Just click on that. It'll take you to the download button. Click on that. It'll download it to your default location. Now have a look at this page. There's some fantastic info here today. I'm going to take you through it really quickly, show you how to download, install, and start using these things straight away. What you want to do is make sure you've got the Divi theme updated. And it's really important you update it so you've got at least public alpha version 23.3. That's where they've started to implement this. Now once you've downloaded it, it's going to download as a zip file. So you want to go down to your download location. Once it's downloaded, just right click on it, and I'm going to extract my files here, and it gives us a couple of files. There's a Mac OS X folder there, don't need that for mine today, I'm on a PC, and there's a Divi CSS Grid demo JSON file. That's what we want today, so we've got that there. To import it into your site, for anybody that doesn't know, just go back to your Divi site, go down to Divi, and then to Divi library. Once in the library, we can go up to import export. We want to import. I'm going to click on the import tab. I'm going to grab my file, Divi CSS Grid demos. I'm going to drag it to where it says no file selected there. Or you can hit the choose file button and browse to the location of that one if you want to. Once in there, I'm going to hit import Divi builder layouts. Okay, well that was pretty quick. And now it's refreshed. We've got our Divi CSS Grid demos right here. Perfect. Well, let's start a new page. I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to middle mouse so it opens it in a new tab. Page. We'll give our new page a name. And of course, we're going to use the Divi builder. Now, once the page loads, I'm going to say use a pre-made layout. I'm going to go up to the top and say your saved layouts. There they are, Divi CSS Grid demos. I'm going to left click on that one. I'm going to hit use this layout. Fantastic. And as you can see, it's loaded all the little layouts down here. Let's just save our draft and we'll preview this in a new tab. And if we roll down, there's the first one. We've got another one here. And some more down below. Now, if you see one, you like the look of it, very easy to customize. I'll show you exactly how we can customize one. Then I'll show you how you can build from scratch. We're not going to build from scratch today. I'm just showing you these downloads, but I'll show you where you can build from scratch. Say perhaps we like this one. Just like any other Divi module, you can go in there, hit edit with Divi. And if you like this one, perhaps you could save this to your library. Each of these has its own section. So to save one to your library to use on a different page, perhaps, just go up to the blue tab for the section, hit save to library, give it a name, save it to your library, then you can load it on any page you want to build. To edit, just like any other Divi modules, I'm not going to edit it too much. That's just a heading module. bit of text and a button right there. Just click on any of these to edit it, add the links you want to. If you want to change the background, most of these things you're seeing here, the background is actually in the column itself. So if I click on the row, we're in the first column here. If I look on that and hit the edit, you'll see it's probably that purple color in the background there. Yep, there it is. To make it your own, obviously just change the color to what you want or add an image if you want to. And let's blend it with that color so we can still read our nice details there. So if we just roll down a bit, background image blend, we're going to multiply it. Fantastic. Same here. I think they're just using a divider for this. So if we click on it, it's a divider. And in the background, they've got a background color, which is the dark color there. They've actually got a gradient as well. And an image. Again, we can change that image. Perhaps something that we want to see. And if you want to change that gradient that they've got overlaid, you can do so just down here. Again, here we've probably just got an image. If I click on that, obviously go in and put in whatever your image is. And all of these, you can go in and just edit. They're just regular Divi modules. Continue until you're happy with the section. Really easy to do, and this is going to be huge. It's such a great feature. Now, if you want to start your own, let's just add a new section. You can go down there. You can select straight away. You can add one of the grid multi-rows, the masonries, or the sidebar. Once you've got it in there, just click on it. Start adding your modules, just like any other Divi build. And once you've added your modules and you're happy with what you've got going on there, let's just throw a little image in here. You can edit it by going into your row, and here's all your columns here. If we look at the row layout, it should be set to grid. Horizontal and vertical gap, it's just like the flex. If you want them to be touching, just put a 0 in there, or a small amount if you just want a small gap. If I increment that up, you can have a little gap there if you want to. You can change the column widths and things like that. How many columns you've actually got in there. Add more columns. Take it down to less columns. You can come up with some great designs that way. And if you've got empty columns, you can say collapse empty columns. You won't see them on the front end. Now we can add row heights and numbers of rows and things like that. We'll be doing that in future videos. And obviously we can change grid direction, density, and justify the content how we want it. But have a play around. You can come up with some fantastic designs using this. And of course, it's all fully responsive. Little tip though, if you're building and you want grids, you might want to put a little background color in the background there just to make everything nice and smooth. Just go to your row, throw a background color in there, whatever background color you want. Let's just throw it back in there. Really easy to do. Like I say, we're going to be doing a lot more building custom things with grids. I just wanted to show you the overview and how you can download these and start using them straight away by just going in there, customizing them, make it your own. But like I say, this is absolutely huge. And it really is a huge leap for Divi 5. So there you have it, guys. Short and sweet little video there. There's how to download the new CSS grids and start using them straight away. You can start adding your own content, or you can start building your own from scratch, just like that. Well, in our last video, we created an email pop-up from scratch using the Divi 5 theme, no coding involved. And lo and behold, Elegant Themes, the makers of the Divi 5 theme, have got 6 free email pop-ups that you can download and use here. I tested one out on my page here. If I reload this page, after a few seconds, you're going to see a pop-up pop up. There it is right there. It's in fixed position, so if people try and scroll down the page, it's going to stay there. And we can close it out with a little X right there. And they've got several to choose from. I'll take you through downloading and installing one today. Really easy to do. I'll put the URL of this page down below the video. I'll take you through it very quickly, but feel free to watch the videos and read the info. There's some good stuff here. I'm going to roll down a little bit to table of contents. I'm going to go ahead and hit the download for free button. That's going to take us down here. You may have to put in your email address. I'm already signed into my account. That's all you do. Put in your email address and this button will appear. Hit the download. It's going to download it to your default download location. Once you download it, it's going to download as a zip file. Just right click and extract it. I'm going to extract mine here. And it pops up with these JSON files. And there your email pop up. Bottom one here, if you import it, you can import all of them at once. Or you can just choose the ones you want and import them separately. If I go up, we've got the preview right here. Got email pop-up 1, 2, etc. I use number 5 for mine. Let's go ahead and use that again. I'll show you exactly how to do it. To import these, you need to go down to your dashboard, to Divi, and to your Divi library. There's the one that I imported earlier. Let's get rid of that and I'll re-import the same one. I'm going to go up here to import and export. I want to import. Remember, I've got my files in this little folder right here. I'm going to drag number 5 across. I'm just left clicking and dragging it. And I'm going to drop it where it says no file selected. Or you can hit the choose file button and browse to it that way if you prefer. I'm not going to check the import presets box. I'm just going to go ahead and import. Great. And there we have it again in our little library here. Now, any page that you might want to put it on, just go to that page. I'll use this same page. I'll get rid of the one that's there. I go to wireframe mode. Here it is right here. We can tell it's it because it's grayed out, telling us it's not there on desktop. So I'm going to trash that one. And let's go back to regular mode here. Doesn't really matter where you put it in because it's in fixed positioning. So I'll just put it underneath my first section there. Hit the little blue button to add a new section. We're going to go ahead and add from the library. And here it is right here. Pre-styled email pop-up section 5. I'm going to use this section. And there it is. Like I say, it's in fixed position. So it stays there. Now to edit it, it's just like any other Divi module. We've got a section here. It's probably where that background image is. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's right there. They've got a gradient on top. Let's throw our own image in, perhaps. And then we've got another little heading module. And another heading module. Probably a text module. Then we've got an email opt-in. Now with the email opt-in form, you've got to make sure that you've got it actually hooked up to an email account like MailChimp or Constant Contact. And you need to put your details in there before it's going to show up. If you want to get rid of that, like I did, I got rid of it and just put a button in instead. That's really easy to do. I'll leave that there for a moment. I'm just going to add a button, or you just put a little contact form with just an email field in. I'm just going to use a button. I want the button to say subscribe. Obviously, put the link where you want to take people in, just down below here. Design-wise, I'm going to throw this in the middle. I'm going to do a little bit of cheating here. I'm going to go into this module here. Go over to design where the button is. I'm going to copy it and say copy button attributes. I'm going to go back into our button module now. We'll do exactly the same thing, design and button. I'm going to paste the button attributes. So we've got a similar looking button. I kind of like to have mine full width, just the same as that. Email opt-in form. I thought that looked kind of nice. So I'm going to cheat again. We're in this button. I'm going to go over to advanced. I'm going to go to my custom CSS. You don't have to do this. You can do this with a bit of padding if you want to. I'm going to go to module elements, main element. I'm just going to write width 100 and the % sign. As you can see, that's now full width button like the one above. Just needs a little bit of padding to fatten it up a bit. So if we go to design, back to our button and spacing, padding top and bottom, let's try 15 pixels and see where that takes us. Hit the chain, it'll do the other side. That's about right. We could probably go up one more. Perfect. Now we've got our button style right. We can get rid of that. So you see, it's very easy to customize these things. Now we need to actually create the interaction that's going to make this work. Now we've got a little icon module up here. If I go into, I've clicked on it and it's made that disappear, but we've actually gone into the icon. Let's have a look at the interaction for it. We go over to advanced. That's where you'll find the interactions. This one, I believe, had an interaction on it already. Yeah, on click. Let's see. When we click that little icon, it's going to hide the element. And the element has got an admin label of section pop-up 5. Perfect. Don't need to do anything to that. That's all working perfectly. Make sure everything's saved. We got our pop-up back. Perfect. So we know that's going to work. But we don't want to see this all the time. In fact, we don't want to see it at all when the page loads, so we can hide it on all devices in a minute. And how do we want it to pop up? Well, mine, I want it to pop up on page load. So let's go back into the whole section itself. Again, we want to go over to advanced, where we'll find interactions. This time we're going to add our own. I'm going to go down to where it says load, which basically means when the page loads, we want to show this. Show element. What element? Well, it's got that admin label of pop-up 5 and it's right there. Now I do want a delay. I want a delay of perhaps 4 seconds. We want the page to load and then we want this to pop up. So let's say 4 seconds. I'm just going to put in 4. If you want to use milliseconds, that's fine. It's 4,000 milliseconds. I'm going to use seconds. Let's make sure we save this. Great. But we don't want to see this thing at all when the page loads initially. We just want it to pop up after 4 seconds. So what we need to do, we're still in here. We're still in the advanced. We can close up interactions. I want to hide it on all devices. We can do that down below with visibility. Don't want to disable it on phone. Don't want to disable it on tablet and desktop. And it's grayed it out because we disabled it here. Perfect. So if you've done everything correctly, this should now work. And of course, if you want this to pop up on every page, you need to build it into a custom footer or a custom header. That way it'll appear on every single page. Great. Well, let's save. And we'll re-preview. Here's our page. After 4 seconds, it should pop up. There it is right there. Fantastic. They can read it. They can go down. They can click the button if they want to. Or they can get rid of it. Just like that. Really nice little feature. As you can see, really easy to do. No coding involved with Divi 5. We used to do this sort of thing with Divi 4. And we just do it with a bit of JavaScript. But there you have it. You've got 6 little free downloadable email pop-ups. And of course, they don't have to be email pop-ups. You can use them for whatever you want to use them for. Divi have just released 16 blog loops for Divi 5. It's a free download. I'll put this URL down below the video here. We're going to show you where to download them, how to import them. And I've put 2 into a page and slightly customized them for my own needs here. Here's blog number 4. If I go up to the top, it's pretty good looking. And all I did was load that in there. I had to tweak it slightly to fit my content a little bit more. And I'll show you how to do that. And add some links at the bottom here. And number 8 here as well. Really didn't have to do too much of this. A little bit of styling to make it fit in with my dark sort of theme that I've got going on here. Apart from that, very simple. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. So let's get started. First thing we're going to want to do is download the files. So once you get to this page, roll on down. There's a table of contents here. We can preview the files. Just click on that. And there's a list of the files here. I'm going to be using number 4. I think I used this one today. And I think it was number 8. Yeah, this one right here. And I just kind of styled it my own way. So if we go back up to our little menu up here at the top, you can hit a little button that says downloads, 16 blog notes, and it'll take you right here. You may have to put in your email address. There's no credit card needed or anything like that. And of course, if you're signed into your account, you won't need to put in an email. Hit the download files button. It'll download to your default location. And once it actually downloads, it's going to download as a zip file. So it's going to look a bit like this, depending on your version of zip. I'm going to extract my files here, right click, extract here. It's actually going to give us two folders, default, which will take on the colors and themes of your global colors for your site, or pre-styled, which will load them with their own colors. I'm going to use the pre-styled for mine today. So if we go in there, it's going to give us a whole bunch of JSON files, and we got the various different layouts here, 1 to 16. One on the bottom, if you want to import all of them, you use this one. It'll put them all in there for you. I'm going to do individuals with mine today. So let's go back to my site here. Now, I'm sure everybody realizes this, but if anybody doesn't, you've got to have some blog posts created before these are going to work. I've got posts created. They've got featured images. They've got titles. They've got content, which is what the blog post will pull in. And they've got various different categories up here. Now, I'm sure everybody realized that, but there's always somebody out there that doesn't. So there you are. Okay, well, let's make this happen. I need to go down to my Divi library. Go down to Divi, roll down to Divi library here. Here's the two I pulled in before. Let's trash those and we'll redo them. Okay, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to hit import and export. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to hit the import tab. Where it says no file selected here, I'm going to go to the files that I've got over here. Now let's grab Practice Blog Loop number 4. And all I'm going to do is left click. I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drop it where it says file selected or no file selected. There it is. If you want to, you can hit the choose file and just browse to your downloads and do it that way. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to hit the import presets button. I'm going to hit the blue import Divi builder layouts. And there we have it. That was pretty quick. And there it is right there. While we're here, we may as well import the other one. We're going to use number 8. So let's go to import, no file selected. Just go to our little files here, number 8 or whichever one you want. Left click, drag it over, drop it where it says no file selected. Hit the import Divi builder layout. Fantastic. Well, now they're in our library. Let's go ahead and create some new pages. I don't need these anymore. So let's add a new page. And we'll give it a name. We'll say blog 4, just so I know what it is. Of course, we're going to use the Divi builder. I'm going to go ahead and say choose a pre-made layout. Takes us to the pre-made layouts for Divi 5 here. I want to go to your saved layouts, which is our library. And here's number 8 and number 4. We're going to use number 4 first. Let's go ahead and use this layout. Perfect. And there it is. It's thrown it in there. It's looking pretty good. It's got all their styling. Obviously, we need to make this our own. It's pulled in from my blog posts here. If we go into perhaps the row, looks like this is the column they're working on here. There's the loop. There's the post. You can select the categories you want here. Or if you want different things rather than posts, you can add pages, media, projects. Or if you've got WooCommerce installed, you can add products too. You can select your category types here. Supercars will work for me. It's pretty much not going to change much there because that's all I've got. You can exclude posts and things like that here. The number you actually want to show, we've got 6 showing at the moment. Let's up that to 9 perhaps. I think I've got 9 blog posts in that particular category. Yes, indeed. Fantastic. Great. Well, that works fine. I like the styling and everything. Of course, I pulled this one in because I like the styling, so we're not going to change the styling too much on this one. Problem that I see, well, it's not really a problem, is that they're slightly different heights because of the different amount of contents in there. So to address this, what I can do is actually go into one of our modules here to group settings. I can give it a fixed height. It doesn't matter which one you go into. Design, sizing. Let's try about 500 pixels. So if we roll down to height, or minimum height at least, 500. And you can adjust this for tablet and mobile too if you want to. That's leveled them up at the bottom there. I mean, that works for me. Some OCD people might not like it because it's got the titles out of alignment there, but that's actually going to work for me. And of course, any of these, just click on any of these columns here and you can change the styling and position of these just by clicking on it. Our read more button by default is going to go to the blog post itself, so that's absolutely perfect. If you want to make it your own, if the color scheme doesn't quite fit, very easy to do as well. I'm going to go in, let's just change the background on the section here we're in. It's got that default very dark blue. Let's just copy that color, it's 640. Let's add perhaps a gradient instead. And we'll leave the light blue at the top and we'll put that dark blue on the bottom perhaps. Great. Fantastic. And if we look down here, we've got a subscribe to our newsletter. You're going to need to put your details in there and hook it up to your MailChimp or Constant Contact, whatever you're using today. Go in there under email account, choose user provider and select your list. You'll have to put an API key in there. And if you wanted to customize this, make it a little more interesting, again, if we go into the row, there's that simple background on there. It's a simple color. That's fine. Let's just throw an image behind that also. Throw in whatever you want in there. I'm actually going to go down. I'm going to blend it with the color they've got there. For me today, I'm going to use screen and it'll just give a little hint of that car in the background there. I don't know if you can see it. That's great. But play with these because you can get some fantastic things going. Luminosity and saturation, things like that. Screen's going to work for me today, but I want to see just a little bit more of that car. So what we can do is go back to the color itself. Just click on it and play with the opacity. Further to the left you take it, the more of that car you're going to see. And I just want a little hint there. I think that's perfect. Great. Down below that, we've got follow us on our socials. Obviously, you want to go in there. You want to put your links to your socials here by clicking on any of them. Just going to the link it to your social media page. Do the same things for here. If you want to add new ones, just hit add. Choose your network and put in your URL, etc. Don't really need that one. Obviously, you want to put in your own address and telephone number here. This is a simple text field. And they've got a link with the email address there. And it's a mail to, which means it'll open their default email client when they click on it. Obviously, you want to put your email address there. Okay. Now over here, we've got some links. I just click on this. They're just regular links. You can either select them, link them to your home and about pages, wherever you want to put stuff. I'm actually not going to use that. I'm going to loop our little modules right here. I'm going to use some dynamic links to take us to the pages that we want to take our people. So just down below, I'm going to go to loop. I'm going to hit loop element. I don't want posts. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to left click. I want pages. And I want to select the specific pages I want. Only include specific posts. So let's go with home, about, services, pricing, and contact. Now we've added those, we want to go back to the text. We can go over to the body right here, to dynamic content, loop post title. And we've got our own home, about, pricing, services, and contact. They're a little far apart from me. So if we go into the row and column number 1 that they're sitting in there, we can go to design and layout. Here's the vertical gap. Take that down to maybe 5 pixels and squash them right up. Yeah, let's make that 10 perhaps, maybe too close. Obviously, make it your own how you want it. And of course, if you want to, you can go into any of these columns and realign. If you want this on the left, perhaps you can put it at the start. If you want it on the right, you can put it at the end there. I'm happy for it to be in the middle. The same, obviously, with all these columns. So if you fill everything right now, obviously you want to change the copyright statement here. They've got the current date there. We can click on that one, hit the variable settings, put in our own info there, copyright and copy, the copyright symbol there, put in our own name. And hit apply when you're ready. And let's just save draft. and we'll preview. And there we have it. Works out very nicely. And of course, if you click on any of these, it's going to take you to the appropriate blog. Perfect. Well, let's try another one. We'll add another new page. And this is blog 8, I think, we're going to use for this one. Again, of course, use the Divi builder. We know it's in our library, so we want to use a pre-made layout. And our saved layouts. Here's number 8. I'm going to use this layout. And again, it's popped it in there. I kind of want to style it to my own needs here. So again, let's make the background our own. I'm going to go in there. Background. Throw an image in. I think that's one I used last time. And again, I think I'll mix it with a colored overlay there, and we'll change up our writing style so we can see them a bit more. You know how to do that. Just go grab the color you want. Choose a nice dark blue. We can blend it with that image by going back to the image. Here we go. This time I'm going to use multiply. Perfect. Great. Well, we can't see our writing. That's not going to work. So we need to go into here. Design. Heading text. It's H2. That's fine for me. Change it to a color you can see. And obviously, if you want to change the font style or anything, you can do that right here. Perfect. And I'm not sure I like the white on our images there. I'd like to flip that the other way around. So easiest way of doing this, I think, is just to go into the actual group that it's sitting in here. I'm going to flip the filter and invert it by going over design. It doesn't matter which group you go in on any of these. It'll do all of them. I'm going to go to design. I'm going to go down to my filters. I'm going to go to invert down here. I'm going to pull that all the way out the way. It should make them dark with light writing. Perfect. That works for me. And we got a couple here that we can't read. Again, we need to go in there. This might be the group. I don't think that's going to work for us yet. We need to go into the dark module for the actual heading module itself. Heading text. Again, we'll just make it a color we can see. And I think we got one more there. Again, design, it's text, so we just need to go into the text. Change it to the color that we want. Perfect. And I think there's one more just right here. There is two. Same thing, design, text, make it the color we want. Great. That all stands out kind of nicely. So we've just got our little one at the bottom here. And again, we'll make it that same dark blue as we used on the background for our section up here. So if I click on the section, let's just copy this color. Right click, copy background color attributes. We'll make it to this section. Background. Right click on the color, paste background color. I want to make it a little bit darker. Let's pull this down to it sort of blend in a little bit more with our one above. Something like that. Great. And then we just need to change a couple of things down here. Email opt-in, design, title. Get a color we can see. And also the fields border here and the text in the field itself. In the email opt-in, design, fields, fields border. Make it a color we can see again. And also the fields text, which is a little further up. Could have done that one first. Just need to make it a color that we can actually see, would be helpful. Perfect. And you know how to do the menus if you want to. We should be good to go with this one. So let's save our changes here. And we'll preview. And here we have it. Looking good. Perfect. Just the way we wanted. Slight alignment issue here, but I can live with that. We could easily remove the date or the user from this, and that would work that out quite easily. Perfect. So there you have it, guys. There's a couple of little blog templates free from Divi. Really easy to style, as you can see. and make your own. And they're really nice too. And there's 16 of them, and I'll put this link down below the video for you. A few days ago, Elegant Themes released 6 off-canvas menus for Divi 5. It's free download as it says. I'll put this link down below the video. What we're going to do today is just show you how to download them, install them, how to customize them to your own needs. Once you get to this page, you can go down, take a look at them in the preview of the ones you like. I'm actually going to use number 5 for mine today, and this is what we came up with. I sort of customized it to my needs. I've got a little button up here that just says menu. It's going to pop up. Of course, you can have anything you want on here, but I've just looped our pages so we can go to any page we want. Excellent. Really easy to do. No coding involved at all. So let's get started. Let's go back to the home page. Okay. Well, the first thing we want to do is go to this page. We want to actually download these layouts. And from the top, if you just roll down a little bit, have a read, have a look around. There's some great info down here. Hit the download 6 off-canvas menus or download for free. It'll take you down here. It may ask you to put in your email address. I've already put mine in. I'm signed into my Elegant Themes account. Once you do that, this button's going to appear. Left click on it to download the files. It's going to download them to your default location. Okay, once they're downloaded, go ahead and browse to them. It's going to download them as a zip file. All we need to do is right click and extract them. I've put them in a little folder here. I'm going to extract them here inside the folder. And we've got 2 types. We've got default, which will take on the stylings or your global colors of the site that you're importing them to. Or we've got the pre-styled here, which obviously, as they say, are pre-styled. Let's roll with some pre-styled. And I think I said I was going to use number 5 today. So to use these, we need to import them into our Divi theme builder. Let's just move this out of the way. If we go back, let's go down to the dashboard. I meant to say we need to go to our Divi library to import these, not the theme builder. We'll be going there in a minute. So go down to your Divi library. Here's the one I imported just now to do that layout for us. Let's trash that and we'll start again from scratch. I'm going to go up to import and export. I want to import, obviously. Let's grab the one that we want over here. Number 5, I'm just going to left click on it. I'm going to drag it to where it says no file selected and release. Or you can hit the choose file button and browse to it that way if you want to. I'm not going to check import presets. I'm going to go ahead and hit import Divi builder layouts. Okay, well that was very quick. Now to use this, here it is in our library here. We need to build it into a header, either a custom header or a global header. So let's go down here, again down to Divi. This time we are going to go to the theme builder. Now here's some custom headers and things that I built in other videos. Here's the global header we built to do this today. Let's just trash that, and again we'll start from scratch. Once I trash this and save the changes, we go back to our page here. It's no longer going to be this one. It'll go back to the default menu. There we go. We've got the Divi default there. I think I had a little menu, mega menu drop down. Okay, well, let's go back to our theme builder. Make this happen. I'm going to hit add global header. Like I say, you can use a custom header and just have different ones on different pages if you want to. We're going to have this everywhere that we've not got a custom header. I'm going to hit build global header. I'm going to hit choose pre-made layout, or you can hit the little blue button. It'll take you to the same place. My saved layouts. And here it is, pre-styled off-canvas menu layout 5. I'm just going to left click on that. Hit use this layout. And here it is. It's imported it into our theme builder here. And we've got various things that are grayed out. Basically, in this one, we've got an image up here, which is the logo. We've got a menu if you want one up here. And behind we've got a full screen page. Then on top of that full screen page, we've got this little pop-up, which is really the only thing I want to use, which is the button and the pop-up. If I save this now and just show you what's going on, we'll save. We'll exit here. Make sure everything is saved here. We'll go back up to our home page and refresh. And we've got our new menu up there. Doesn't look very good. What it's actually done, it's added this whole full page thing. At the top, we've got our logo and the menu. I mean, if you want this sort of thing, that's fine. But really all I want out of this is the actual pop-up. When I click on here, you'll see it's going to pop up this nice little box here. And of course, you can put any content in here you want. I'm going to cheat in a minute and use the loop builder just to add some pages from our menu. And it's got a nice little X they can close out with up there. So like I say, I don't really want this bit at all. I just want the sort of pop-up thing, and I want the button to perhaps be on our menu. So let's customize it the way that we want. Close that out. Go back to our theme builder now. I've got another instance open here. Let's close that out. Back into our global header. And we can look at what we've got going on here with our layers to the left-hand side. If we go up here to where it says layers, we've got a header. If we expand that, inside there's a row. Looks like it's got a single column in there. Inside it's got the image, Divi logo, and a menu module. Well, the first thing I want to change is I want to put my logo in there. So I'm going to grab the image, just click on it that way. Here we are. Let's roll down. There's my logo. I'm going to pop that one in there. Perfect. As you can see, let's change that up there. And over here, we've got a menu. Now, obviously, you can go in there. You can change that to whatever menu you want. I've selected my main menu. And of course, you have to have created these menus in the dashboard appearance and menus. I'm going to be deleting that anyway. So for the time being, I'm just going to leave it on the main menu. Now, next up, we go in there. We've got another section. Inside, we've got the row, which has got our title in it. If we open up that row, it's got a column in it with a heading, our title right there, and the button. Like I say, I want the button. I don't want the title. Don't really want this section at all. But we'll deal with that in a minute. And we've got another row here. It's got a column that's got all that text in it. If I click on that text module, you can see it's got that full page of text there. Obviously, you can adjust that to whatever you want. I don't want it at all, so I shall be deleting that. And then we've actually got our off-canvas menu up here. If we click on that, that's another section. They've given it a nice admin label of off-canvas menu. It's got a row in it, and it's got all of our columns in it. Like I say, you can put anything you want in yours. They're using blur modules and a button. This is the top one here, just with some text and an icon for closing it. Next one is a blurb with an icon right there, and they've got a button module underneath. Great, well, let's keep what we want to keep, and let's get rid of what we don't want. So image and menu, I can get rid of that menu module up the top. If I roll up, that's up here. I'm going to get rid of that. In our next section, it's got that heading. I really don't want that in there. In fact, I can pretty much get rid of this whole section apart from the button. I'm going to move that button by just left clicking on it. I'm going to move it next to our image up here. So it's up in this section up here. Now this other section's all this full page stuff. I really didn't want that. So I'm going to delete this whole section. I just left clicked there on the three little dots and selected delete section. Great. Well, this is shaping up a bit more, but of course I want it to be more of the colors that I want on my site. We could have used the unstyled. Let's go into this row here. Looks like we need to add a new column for our button. So let's do that. Here's the column. If I go back one, let's just add a new column. Then I can grab the button now, just drop it down in that column. Perfect. A little bit big for me while we're in it. I want it to just say menu or options or whatever you want yours to say. So I'm going to say menu. I'll leave the link itself because that is actually an interaction. It's going to pop up our little off-canvas menu here. Design-wise, I want it to be on the right-hand side. A little too wide for me. Text is okay. The button, let's make it the blue we've been using. So button background, let's turn that into blue. If it's got a border, I don't want one on there. Let's just have a look. Take that down to 0. And it's a little bit wide for me. So in the spacing, let's take it back to the default for top and bottom. Don't mind too much about left and right. And I want to give it a bit of margin. So it's off the top and it's got a bit of space on the bottom. I think I used 7 pixels before, so I'm going to use that again. 7 pixels top. I'm going to hit the change, so it puts 7 on the bottom also. Great. Now for this one right here, we'll go into this one. We've got some text right here. All I'm going to do is change that to our default blue. Great. And a little icon here. Now, here's a word of warning. If you click on this icon, it's going to close this. So you may, before you start messing with this icon, might want to do a quick save up here. Then we can go into the icon, or you can go into it this way. Here's the icon. Just click on it. All I want to do is change that blue. Icon color. Blue. Perfect. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of all these columns apart from our top one. So I've only got one blurb, one column there, and then I'm going to use the looper rather than populate these individually, which you can do if you want to. So let's do that. I'm just going to go to the 3 buttons, hit delete column. I'm going to rinse and repeat. I'll pause the video for a second. Okay, I'm doing the last one there. Fantastic. Okay, I'm now going to go into the actual column that our one blurb and buttons sitting in right there. By clicking on it, it's taking this to the column. I'm going to loop it by going down to loop element. Now you can loop anything you want. I don't really want to show posts. I want to show pages. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to hit pages there. I'm going to select the pages that I want. Specific ones right here. Let's have home, about, services, projects, pricing. I guess we'll round it up to 8. Sections, gallery, and I guess contact. Great. Now we can actually populate it with the content we want. So if we go into one of these blurb modules right here, as you can see, we're in the blurb. For the title, I want the page title. So we can roll over dynamic content, post title. Home, about, projects, pricing, perfect. And down below, let's hit apply, we can post the excerpt. Now, for anybody that doesn't know where this is coming from, obviously the title is the page name itself, home, about, etc. But the excerpt, I'll show you what that is in just a moment. Let's choose it, loop excerpt. As you can see, I've got a little description on each of my pages there. That's way too many words. Let's perhaps try 20 words. Even that might be too many. Let's go with perhaps 16. And I'm going to adjust the height on it so the buttons are all lined up nicely too. But just for anybody that doesn't know, let's just apply this. If I go to the dashboard, down to my pages, and we look at one of them, perhaps about here. Each of my pages, if we look at the page settings here, has got a little excerpt in it, and that's what it's pulling in. It's got a featured image too, and we've used those in the past. So you can pull these in with your looper, and they'll be different for each page. There we go. That was just for anybody that didn't know where that was coming from there. If we go back now, image and icon. Well, I'm going to leave that icon. I'm going to change it to a little arrow in a moment. In fact, let's do that while we're down here. I think I had a little one. Something like that. I want it to be blue. Same blue as we've been using, obviously. I might do that for the title as well. Title text, let's make that blue. Great. Now we've got a button down here that's going to take them to the page, but I also want to take them to the page if they click on the arrow or on the title or anywhere on this blog post. I want it to take them to the link. So to do that, very easy, while we're in the blurb, go back to our content page, link down here. I'm going to go for the whole module right here. I'm going to go to dynamic content, loop link. So anywhere they click on that blurb module will take them to that page in this particular case. Perfect. Now we got some little buttons down below here. Before we go on to those, let's give this a minimum height, probably about from 180, 150, something like that. So the buttons all line up. In design, close up our title text here. We can go down to sizing to do that. I'm going to go for minimum height, min height right here. Let's try 150 pixels and see how we get on with that. Yeah, that's actually worked fine. All those buttons are nicely lined up for me. So we just need to style the buttons and link the buttons now to our home page or wherever it is you want to link yours. So we can go into those buttons. And because we're using a looper, once we do one, it's going to do all of them. Let's change that to perhaps more info. And the link, like I say, again, we want to go to the dynamic loop link. Perfect. Apply. And the button itself, just want to make that the same blue as we've been using. Button background. Going to make it that blue. Don't particularly want a border over behind it. Button border. And button text wants to be light in color. I want to give it a little more padding left and right. Button icon, I don't think I even want a button icon, so let's turn that off. Show button icon. Then in the spacing, I'm just going to give it a little more left and right. Let's try 15 pixels. Yeah, that'll work. Change checked. Perfect. Now, just for a bit more fun, I'm going to go into the row. I'm going to give this a dark background. In the row, I'm going to go down to background. Let's make it black. I'm going to take the opacity down just a little bit, maybe to 75%, so we've got a hint of whatever's behind it through when it pops up over. And just in case it's on a dark section, we want to make sure that people know it's a pop-up. So I'm going to give it a little border and a little bright box shadow. So let's close that background here, over in design. Here's the border. I'm just going to give it 1 pixel all around. I'm going to use that same crazy blue. And don't forget, the reason it's grayed out over here is because it's going to be hidden on the front end there with the interaction. And box shadow, we're going to do exactly the same thing all around. I'm going to use that same crazy blue color. Perfect. Now if we save our changes, this is what we had before. I mean, it did pop up nicely and everything, but now we started our own. It should have got rid of that full screen bit there. Should just pop up with our menu on the top there and logo, and then we got the option to pop up the menu itself. So let's refresh this and see if it does that for us. Great, we got our little logo up there. We've got the button. When I click on it, going to pop up our little menu. It's got that glow around the back. I need to get our excerpt so we can see it. I'd failed to change that from dark to light. But apart from that, it's doing what we want. Let's just do that. Let's click on any one of these blurb modules. All I'm going to do is go in there, body text. Might be helpful if we could actually see it. Let's take the opacity up so it's nice and bright. Great, we'll resave. We'll try that one more time. Refresh. And here we are again. Let's hit our little button. And there it is. This time we can actually read our excerpt right there. We click on one of these pages. It's going to take us to it. Just exactly what I wanted. So there we have it, guys. There is how to download, install, and use one of the 6 off-canvas menus that they've got for you over here at the Elegant Themes site. And don't forget, I'll put the URL down below. so you can get started on your own. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you've got any questions either about Divi 5 or Divi 4, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Now, the reason we've got a white bar down here, for anybody that didn't know, on tablet and mobile, this is going to be too deep, so you're going to need to be able to scroll it. If I hit my F12 key, I'm using Google Chrome here. Here we have it. On an iPhone, as you can see, we can scroll up and down, get all those menus. And on an iPad, not so bad. It actually fits on there, so that's okay. Just for anybody that was wondering, that's what that little scroll bar is for right there. Elegant Themes, the maker of Divi, have just released 12 shop loops. They're free to download and they're really easy to install and use. I've got one that I checked out yesterday, and here it is. I just downloaded it. I've got a WooCommerce site here with products on it. And of course, if you click on one of these, it's going to take you to the product itself. So let's get started. I'll put this URL down below the video. Once you get to this page, we can roll down a little bit. First thing we want to do is take a look at them. So if we hit the preview here, we've got them, and they go from 1 all the way down to 12 here. So select one you like the look of, and I'll show you how to download, import, and get it installed on your site. So once you've decided what you like, we can go back up here, and there's 2 links. Download 12 shop loops. Just click on one of those. You may see a field here that asks you to put your email address in. That's all you have to put in. I'm already signed into my account. I'm just going to hit the download files button right here. It's going to download it to my default download location. Once it's downloaded, go to your download location. It's going to download as a zip file just like this. You need to extract it. I'm going to right click on mine. Extract here. And you'll find it gives you a folder that says unstyled there. If we double click on that one, inside we'll find our JSON loops right here. And we've got 1 to 12. If you want to select them individually, you can do. And we've got one that says all at the bottom. If you want to grab them all, this is the one you use. Now, to import these, we need to go to our Divi library. So let's go to the dashboard. We need to go down to Divi and to our Divi library right here. There's the one that I imported before. Let's get rid of that, and we'll do this again. So I'm going to trash that one. Now I'm going to go up to here, import and export. I want to import a loop. So I'm going to hit import there. Now where it says no file selected there, I'm just going to go over and drag my JSON file across. I think I want number 7. Just going to drop it where it says no file selected, or you can hit choose file and browse to your download location. I'm not going to check import presets. I'm going to hit import Divi builder layouts. And there we have it again. That was pretty quick. Now that we've got it, we can put it on any page that we want. So let's perhaps start a new page. And we don't need that page. And it was loop 7. Obviously call your page what you need to. We're going to use a Divi builder. Okay, by default it chucks in a section. I'm going to hit the blue button to add a new section. I'm going to go ahead and add from the library. So if we look back at our library over here, this is actually a section. It's not a page layout, or it's not a row, it's a section. So we can add it as a section. If we go back to our page, there it is. We'll pop that one in. We can get rid of this top section. As you can see, it's already started pulling stuff from my database. For anybody that didn't realize, you have to have WooCommerce installed and you have to have created some products. As you can see, I've got plenty of products here. They've got categories, prices, and some of them are on sale and what have you. And this is the data that these loops pull in. So if we go back to our page here, it's pulling in. I really don't want a title on mine, but if you wanted to, you can put your page title in there. Let's get rid of this whole row. If we roll down, like I say, it looks like we've got 13 here. They're pulling in randomly from our products. I want to pull in the products that I actually want. So let's make that happen. I'm going to go into the actual row. Once in the row, you'll see that it's got a column that says loop inside it. We're in the row. If you look on the content, you'll find loop. And this is the one, obviously, that they've looped. So if we go inside here, roll down a bit, we'll see that this is looped. And it's selecting products. That's fine. I want to select perhaps a different category. Let's perhaps select on sale. And maybe another one. Just throw belts or something in there. As you can see, it's started to pick those from those categories now. It's set to display 13, which is our grid shape here. And it looks like our big image right there is taking up sort of 4 spaces. So I'm not sure how many products I've got there, but let's try upping that to maybe 20. I may not have that many products. And as you can see, it's adding them onto the end here. If I add another category, it'll throw some more in there, perhaps bags. Now, of course, your other option, if you want to continue with this, is let's take 2 of these categories away, perhaps. So we're actually left with that many. We could duplicate this row right here. Just hit the clone. We've got it below here. And in this row, we could perhaps have a different category. You know how to get to it. Go into the row. So the content is in the column at the top. There's our loop. We could perhaps have a different category. We'll get rid of this one. Let's add dresses. And perhaps some more. Shirts maybe. And it keeps filling it out in that grid form there. Now, if you don't have enough, you can add another category. And as long as we've got it set to 13, it won't overspill there. So if we go back into this row, just click on it and take us straight there. Into the column, remember, we'll go to the top. And we'll add another little category here just to fill out that last little space. Maybe do pants. And we'll take this down, take it back down to 13 where it was. We've got a nice little symmetrical grid with 2 different categories there. As you can see, really easy to do. They've got a bit of an overlay on here, which if I save and show you on the front end, is just a little mouse effect. So let's save draft, or publish if you're ready. And we'll preview. And in no time at all, we've got a great little category page or shop page or whatever you want to do with yours. As you can see, really easy to do, really easy to manipulate. And of course, you can mix and match the loops that they've got here and come up with some great shop pages really quickly. So we just look at this one more time. I was going to show you, it's got that little mouse over effect that darkens down on hover. And of course, if we click on something, it's going to take us to the product page for that. Absolutely wonderful. So as you can see, really easy to do. 12 absolutely free shop loops from Elegant Themes there. Like I say, URLs down below. Download, have a bit of fun. You can come up with some great layouts really quickly. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions either about Divi 5, which we're working with today here, or Divi 4, which all of my client sites are still on Divi 4, I'll be upgrading probably after the final release, after they've done 1 or 2 updates, just to save myself and my clients some headaches down the road. But Divi 5 is absolutely awesome. The features that they've come up with are stunning. From a design point of view, they've made it so much easier. When I go back to working with Divi 4 now, it does feel like I'm sort of walking through treacle or something like that. It just feels hard work compared to Divi 5 now. So there we have it, guys. 12 little free WooCommerce shop loops from Elegant Themes. The folks over at Elegant Themes who make the Divi theme have got 11 timeline designs that are absolutely free to download. And I'll put this URL down below the video. I've got one installed here. I was just checking them out. They're pretty good looking, very easy to work with. I'll show you how to download, install, and customize them to your needs. Really easy. So let's get started. If we go back to this page, first thing you're probably going to want to do is have a look at them. We roll down a little bit. We can preview them here. And there's several to choose from. Particular one I used, I think, was number 7 here. I'll go ahead and use that one again. Now, of course, if you want to download them, very easy. We go back up here. They've got a link, download or download for free. It'll take you down here. You may have to put in your email address. I'm already signed into my account. They don't spam you or anything like that. Once you put in your email, you'll see this button appear. You can go ahead and download the files. It'll download them to your default location. It's going to download as a zip file. This is what you've got here. To extract it, just right click, hit extract here, and it'll give you a new folder. It says unstyled there. We double click on it. It's got all of the JSON files. Now we've got timelines 1 through 11. This last one here, you can import if you want to import all of them. Otherwise, you just grab them individually. I'll show you exactly how. Let's go to our Divi theme here. Once at the dashboard, want to go down to the library. Under Divi, there's the Divi library. I'm already on it here. There's the one I uploaded just now. Let's get rid of that and we'll re-upload. I'm going to go up to the top here where it says import and export. It'll pop out this little box. Let's hit import. Now we can take a little folder with our JSON files in there. I'm going to grab the one I want. I think I'll go with number 7 again. Just going to left click. I'm going to drag it and drop it to where it says no file was selected there. Or if you prefer, you can just hit choose file and browse to your default download location. That's going to work for me. I'm going to go ahead and import Divi Builder layout. I'm not going to zoom this forward because it takes no time at all. As you can see, it's done it. And there it is again, unstyled timeline section 7. If we look over here, it's telling us it's a section, not just a module or a row, it's a whole section. So we can add it to any page as a section. So I'm going to start a new page. Obviously, you can insert it on an existing page. We'll give it a title. Of course, we'll use the Divi Builder. I'm going to go ahead and build from scratch. Okay, we've got the default section it puts in, the blue tab there. Wants us to put in a row. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and hit the little blue tab to add a new section here. I'm going to add from the library. That's where we stored it. There it is right there. I'm going to left click on it. I'm going to hit use this section. And there it is. There's our little timeline. We can get rid of this redundant section at the top here. Now, it seems that a lot of these are made with group modules. That's great. Obviously, you're going to want to go in and change the content to your own. Just click on an element, change it to what you want. That's going to work for me. I'll just go and change out some of these images just to make it a little more interesting. Now, of course, you're going to want to put your own content in here. Just click on that text module in the text. As you can see, it's a bullet list right here. To add an item, just go down one. Put what you want in there. To edit one of these, simply select it. Put in what you want there. As you see, it appears over here. We'll adjust spacing in a minute if you want to. And obviously, continue down, put in your own content. I'll just add some more images, then show you how to add another entry if you need to. I'll just pause this. Okay, well, I just added a couple of images of my own there. Now, if you want to add another entry, I'm not quite sure where they finished at 21 there. Like I say, these seem to be group modules here, which is great because we can just duplicate it by hitting the 2 squares there. And we got a new entry here. Obviously, go in there, change it to what you need it to be. Change out the content that you need there. And of course, we'll have a different image. Now let's have a look on tablet and mobile. Here we are on desktop. If I go up here to tablet mode, notice there's no content on the right hand side. They may have done this just to keep things tidy and streamlined. And if we go to mobile view, same thing. We've got no actual content there. If you decided you did want to have it on mobile, simply go back to desktop version. And what they've actually done, if we click on this module here, they just deleted the text on tablet and mobile. That's why it's not there. They haven't actually hidden it or anything. If I flip to tablet now, you'll notice that this content disappears. Let's just copy it before we do that. I'm going to select it. Control C to copy. If we flip to tablet mode now, if you do want it there, the module's still in place, but you see it's empty of content. We can just paste it in there and continue on down doing the same thing if you want that there. I'll leave that like that. I just wanted to point that out for you. If you look at tablet mode and have a panic attack, think your info's not there. Now, personally, I'd kind of like this down a little bit, but of course that's personal taste. So I'm going to just use a bit of padding to push it down. Again, I'm going to click on this module. I'm going to go to design and spacing. Let's try perhaps 20% on the top. I'm going to put 20 in there, hit the percent sign at the end. I think that'll work for me. And obviously adjust to taste. To get the others done pretty quickly, we could extend, or we can just copy the spacing attributes, click on the next one, right click, paste. Same again, left click, then right click and paste. Very easy to do. They've made it very easy for us in Divi 5 here. Perfect. So there we have it, guys. There are 11 little timeline designs that you can download for free from the Elegant Themes site here, specifically tailored for Divi 5. And like I say, I'll put this URL down below. Just click on it. You may have to put in your email address. Like I say, they don't spam you. Once you do that, that little download button's going to appear. Just like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As I keep mentioning, we're working with Divi 5 here. It's still in the beta version. I have built a few personal sites with it. I won't be updating my client sites from Divi 4 to Divi 5 until probably the final release, and probably the 0.1 release after that. But it is a fantastic builder, really enjoying it. The folks over at Elegant Themes there, the makers of the fantastic Divi theme, have got 5 hotspot designs absolutely free to download. I downloaded one, customized it for my own needs here. As you can see, we've got an image and a few little spots down here. If I hover over, you'll see it's got some details and a title. There's a planet there, bit of lightning, and up here we've got some moons. Really easy to do and great little interactive things to have on your site. And I'll show you how to download them, import them, and customize them to your needs. So first things first, let's go over there and download them. If we look down here, just rolling down from the top a little bit, first thing you may want to do is preview them. And here they are. Just have a look, choose the one that may be what you're looking for here. I think this is the one I used before. We'll go ahead and use that one again. If we roll back up to the table up here, you can hit the download 5 hotspots. You may be prompted to put an email in there. I'm already signed into my account, so it's got the download button. Once you put your email in, you can download the files. Just left click on it. It'll download them to your default location there. Once downloaded, it's going to download as a zip file. All you need to do is right click on it, hit extract here, and it will give us our JSON files here, hotspots 1 through 5. Bottom one there, if you import that one, it'll import all 5 of them. Okay, so how do we import them? Really easy. Let's go down to the dashboard. I'm using the Divi 5 theme here. Once at the dashboard, we can go down to Divi, Divi library. Here's the one I originally downloaded here. I'm going to go ahead and trash that one. I'm going to go up to import and export at the top here. I'm going to left click on it. I want to import, so I'm going to click on import down here. I'm going to drag my files over. I want number 2. Obviously select whichever one works for you. I'm going to drop it. I just left clicked, dragged it. I'm going to drop it where it says no file selected there. Or you can just hit choose file and browse to where it was you extracted your files. I'm going to hit import Divi builder layouts. I'm going to leave import presets unchecked. And there's the check mark. It'll load it into the library now. Very quick process. And there we are again. It's right there. Great. So how do we get it on our page? I'm sure some of you are ahead of me on this. I've got my original one open here. Let's just delete this whole section. We'll start from scratch. So we'll pretend like this is a new page. I'm going to use a full section for mine. If we look back over at the library in the hotspot section, if we go over here, it tells us it's a section. It's not just a row or a module itself. It'll always tell you what these things are over here. So we can add a new section and just add it that way. If I go back to the page, it's got a default section on the top. I'm just going to hit the blue button to add a new section. I'm going to add from library. There it is right there. Let's use this section. And there it is. We can delete that empty top section. We're not going to need it. And they've got this young lady. They've got one over her little training shoes here. Well, let's preview it so you can really see. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And we'll preview. Like I say, you've got that young lady there. Got a little pop-up over her shoes there. And her leggings, sports bra, and fitness watch. Which is great, but of course it's not really going to work for my site. You're going to want to customize it for your own needs. If you're selling sportswear, that might work for you, but I'm not. So let's make it our own. We're going to go back here. Now, one thing I need to mention, I had this page open. If you've already created a page and then you import your layout to your library, you may need to just save and refresh. If you don't do that, it may not show up when you hit add from library. Great. So now to edit this thing, I'm going to go over here to the layers. Here's the hotspot. If we hit the little chevron next to it, it'll show us what's going on. Here's the image that's behind it all. I'm going to just click on that. I want to put my own image. As you can see, it's an image module. I'm going to get rid of that, or just left click and it'll take you to your library. There's that crazy picture I had before. We'll use that one again. Great. Now that looks a little dark to me, which is fine. I want mine full color. I think they've taken the brightness down on the actual image itself. So while I'm in the image, if that works for you, I think they've got a hover effect going on. You notice when I hover over it, it brightens up. If you want that, that's fine. I don't particularly want that in this case. I'll show you how to adjust it. We're still in the image. We can go over to design. We go down to our filters here. I think they pull the brightness down on this one. Yeah, it's down to 50% and then 100% on hover. You can either just hit reset to bring it back to normal or just put it where you particularly want it. Don't need to change anything on hover because I think we'll find that it's 100% on hover anyway. That's fine. If you adjust anything on hover, make sure you flip back. For anybody that didn't catch what I did there, I went up to the top, little arrow there. If we were originally on desktop, which is where you should be when you edit anything, I left click, I went down to hover. Once you're in the hover state, the little arrow up there, you can change any of these settings and it'll only affect what you do on hover. And the important part to remember about this is once you've done it, flip back to desktop. I've been called out like this. If you leave it on hover, any edits you make in the design fields will only happen on hover. So that's great. We've got our image bright, how I want it, etc. If we look down underneath our image, we've got some groups. Each one of these groups is an icon, a heading, and a little bit of content there. So let's click on one of these groups. Here's the icon. You can change the colors or do whatever you want, change the different icons over in content. Just to show you which one we're doing, if I flip the hue up here, you'll see that first one change color. Of course, you can go to content, choose whatever icon you want that works for you, style it over in design under icon. I'm going to leave those just as they are. But of course, this first one right here, I probably want over the top of this crazy mountain down here. So we need to adjust it. Now, to move any of these, you want to make sure you're in the group itself. So I've clicked on the group there, as we can see up here. If we go over to advanced now, go down to position, they've positioned these absolutely. It's actually positioned top left there. Now, here's something important. They're using percentages to position it. That way it's going to be responsive. So don't use pixels because it won't work on tablet and mobile. Make sure you've got percentages selected. So height-wise, I want it just a little bit further down, or I could adjust it, put it on the bottom and bring it further up. We'll leave it there. I'll just bring it further down. Let's try perhaps 65. And I need to move it across a bit more. And again, we're using percentages. Let's try 15 and see where it takes it. Not quite enough. What about 20? A little bit too much. And you can increment with these little arrows to get it where you want it. I think right about there. I wonder if you can do a 0.5. Yes, you can. That's great. Now, of course, it's not a training shoe, so we need to put in what we want. Just click on the heading module there, left click, it'll take you straight to it. Over in content, obviously, is where we can put the content. We want mountain, and probably want to spell it right. Always looks better when you spell things right. And I've got a bit of info about it here, so we can just click on module below. There it is. I'm going to replace that with my info. And of course, being a WYSIWYG box, you can add links, you can underline, you can make bullet lists, do whatever you want. That will work for me. And of course, we need to rinse and repeat for the next one. So if we click on the next one up here, again, we want to make sure we're in the group. So make sure you're in the group. I'm going to click on the actual group itself. This wants to be over the planet. So again, I'm going to go over to my advanced position. I need to bring it up a bit and to the right. So the vertical offset, let's try 35. It's about right. Oh, I just need to bring it to the right a bit more. We'll try 35 there as well. See what happens. A little bit too much. Again, increment back with these. And again, you want to change out your title. Just click on that. I'm not going to go through with it. I'm sure you can see how to do that. Just click on that one. Under the content and text, you'll find that. And then click on the next one. The easiest way I found to do this is once you're actually in one module, let's just change this out for planet, copy the text, just paste it in there. Now you're already in that module, so if we click on this one, we're in the right place for that one. That was probably going to be lightning. And again, click on this one, perhaps the moons or something. And we got that one done quickly. And it's the same for the titles. I'll pause this. I'll just do the titles. No point you watching me go through this. Okay, I just added the content there and adjusted these to the position I want. Let's check this out on the front end. We'll save. We'll do a quick preview. And here we have it. We've got those little hotspots there. First one, the mountain, as you can see. Second one we got on the planet. Third one's the lightning. Fourth one's the moon, working absolutely perfectly. Now, of course, what happens if you want to add a new one? Well, it couldn't be easier. I'm sure plenty of you know exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go in my last group here. I'm going to hit the little 3 squares. I'm going to hit duplicate group. And it puts a new one underneath. You can see this one's gone dark because it's in exactly the same position. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it and we'll put it where we want it. Let's probably put it on a cloud and say something about the clouds perhaps. And we've just done that. I'm sure you know how. We're over in advanced and position. Way too high. Let's put it Try 55 and see what happens. And again, make sure we're using percentage. Not quite enough. I'm going to take it up some more to it's where I want it. About there. I want to move it slightly over to the left so it's on top of that cloud there. So again, I'm going to increment down with the arrows. Just holding it down and it's going across there. Boom. And of course, to edit, it's not a moon, it's a cloud. Just want to go in there. You can see we're on the heading module. Text. Clouds. Whatever you want to put in yours, obviously. Now we just need to put in the correct content. Here's a little bit of content about clouds. Perfect. Once again, when you're happy, we'll resave and preview. Here's how to download, install, and customize these free hotspots. Elegant themes right here. And once again, this has been a Divi 5 theme video. Divi 5 is absolutely awesome. It's still in the beta stage, so you may find a few bugs with it. I'm making all these videos to primarily get familiar with the new platform here. It's absolutely awesome. But I will say I'm keeping all my client sites on the Divi 4 theme for the moment, probably until after they release the final version to version 0.501 or something like that. But it's going to be absolutely awesome. I would suggest if you're using Divi, you get ahead of the game by learning how to use Divi 5. It's so much quicker and so much more intuitive than Divi 4. Divi 4 still works absolutely perfectly, but what they've done here is fantastic. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Divi have just released 5 split screen designs for Divi 5. Absolutely free to download. If we look down here, first thing you're going to want to do, I'll put this URL down below for anybody who wants to download any of these. We can preview them right here. And there's some quite nice little layouts there. To download them, if we roll down the page a little bit, got a table of contents here. Just click on the download 5. It'll take you down here. Now, it may ask you to put in your email. I'm already signed into my Elegant Themes account here. So I've just got the download files button. I'm going to left click on it. And it'll download the files to your default location. Great. Well, I've got one that I did already over here, hopefully. Yep, it's on this page. If I roll down to the bottom, it's just a little contact section with a live Google map here. A bit of contact information, as you can see. If you use Control, you can zoom in, zoom out. Really nice. Now, their original was actually using a map module that you needed to put a Google API key in, which is fine, but you have to register with Google and you have to put in a payment method. They won't necessarily charge you. So I'm using a little workaround using an iframe. I'll show you how to do that so that you don't need to insert an API key. Well, let's go down to the dashboard now. To import these, once downloaded, go down to your downloads location. There's the file it's going to download. Need to extract it. It's a zip file, so I'm going to extract it here. And you'll find another little folder that it extracts unstarred. If we click on that, here we've got our little JSON files. And they correspond to stars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or if you want to import all of them, you can use this one at the bottom here. And just to recap, you can preview whichever files you want here. This is the one I used today. I guess I'll use that one again. So what we need to do now is go down to our dashboard to import them. Go down to Divi, Divi Library. Here's the one I imported earlier. Let's just trash this one. I'm going to go up to the top now. I'm going to hit Import and Export. We want to import these files. So if I just click on that folder again, number 2 is the one I want. I'm going to left click on it. I'm going to drag it over to where it says no file selected there and just release. Or you can hit choose file and browse to your download location that way if you want to. I'm not going to check import presets. I'm just going to hit import Divi builder layout. And there it is. It'll just reload. And there it is again, unstarred split section 2. Now, if we look over here, we can see that it's actually a section. It's not a row. It's not a module. It's not a page. So you can either go to a new page or an existing page. I've got my page open here. Let's edit with Divi. I'm going to roll down to the bottom. And we'll delete this section that I've got here and we'll start from scratch. Blue tab for a section. Okay, wherever you want to put yours, I'm going to hit add new section, little blue button here. Just left click. Don't want any of this. I want to go add from library. There it is in the library, unstarred split section 2. I'm just going to left click on it. I'm going to tell it to use this section. And it's pretty quick to import. And there it is right there. On the left hand side, we've got a title, bit of text. Here we've got a few heading modules and some social media icons. And over here, we've got the actual Maps module itself. Now, as you can see, there's an error message. This page can't load Google Maps correctly. And the reason for that is there's no API key in there. This is a Maps module. If I just click on it, you can see it's a map module. If we go down to map, this is where you need to put your API key in. So anybody that does want to use a Google API, go over to Google. You have to create an account, like I say, register, put in a payment method, and follow the prompts there. I'm actually going to do it without an API key, so I'm going to replace this module completely. It's a black tab for a module, so I'm going to trash that. I'm going to use a code module. And there's the code module right there. Fantastic. Okay, before we get the code, we need to actually put a map in there. Let's take a look over here. This is just a heading module. If you click on it, again, it's going to tell you what it is up here. Obviously, put what you want in there. Contact us works. What we've got here is a little text module. And again, put in what you want there. That will work for me as well with the contact section. Down the bottom here, obviously, you're going to want to put in your details. The easiest way is just to left click on each of these modules right there. It'll put the cursor by the number. Put your own number, whatever you want to put in there. Same for the email address. Again, just once you get off of the black tab there, left click, it'll put the cursor in there. I'll put in your own email, me at myemail.com, or whatever appropriate for you. Exactly the same for the address. Now here we got little social media icons. If we just click on this one, again, it's the black one. To get into it, social media icons. If we go under elements here, there's the 3 that they've got there. You want to go into each of these, just hit the little pencil. Where it says link down below here, you want to put the link of your Facebook, X or Instagram account. If we go back one, if you want to add a new one, best way to keep the styling is once back in content, go to elements again, just duplicate one that's there. It'll have the same styling. It's the 4th one down here. If we go into it, you can change the network up here. Funnily enough, where it says network. Yeah. Try a link down in there or whatever. If it puts in a background, you can just go in there, delete the background. Perfect. And again, of course, you want to put the correct link in there for your LinkedIn account or whatever it is you're putting in. Great. Well, let's move on to the map. Like I say, I'm cheating. I'm not using an API key. If you do, that's fine. To get the map that you want in there, go to Google Maps or just open Chrome or something like that and type Google Maps in there. Put in the address you want to go to. I'm just using the Empire State Building for an example today. You'll notice down here, we've got a button that says share. I'm going to left click on that. It's going to pop out this little box, embed a map. It gives us an iframe code here. I'm going to go ahead and hit copy HTML. It's going to copy that for us. Remember, we added a code module over here. If you have trouble finding it, we can go to wireframe mode right here. Code modules don't take up much space at all. We'll see it right here. So if we just click on it, we're in the code module. Flip back whenever you're ready. So under the content in the code module, under text, I'm going to put my cursor in there. Let's roll down to where we were working so you can see what's going to happen. Put my cursor in there, Control V to paste the code we've just copied, or right click and paste, however you want to do it. And let's put that live Google map in there. That's okay, but I want it to fill out the whole of the width and the whole of the height here. So we'll look down at this code here. we've got a width and a height right down here. I'll zoom in on this a little bit while I edit. Where it says 600 there, that's the actual width. So that's 600 pixels wide. I want it to be the full width of whatever container it's in on all devices. But where it says 600 there, I'm going to select the 600. Make sure you don't cut off the inverted commas there. I'm going to type in 100 and the percent sign. It's now the full width of the container that it's sitting in. But I also want it to be a lot deeper as well. Unfortunately, 100% won't work on height, or at least I haven't found a way to make it work. So I'm going to guess the deepest I want to go probably is about 1200 pixels. So that 450 right there in the height is the actual pixel value. So I'm going to pick 1200 pixels in there. That works for me. And we've got a live map here. We can zoom in, zoom out, do what you want to do with it there. And it's going to the bottom of our section there, just exactly what I wanted. And let's just check it on tablet and mobile. If you want to, you can have completely different codes for tablet and mobile once we click on the tablet. If you want to change the height of it on tablet, you can do so right here. Just paste that code back in. Control V again to paste. Of course, we want that 100%. I should have just copy the new code I put in there. And height wise, well, let's take it down. Well, let's take it 1000 pixels perhaps on this. Whatever works for you, obviously. 1123. And it's not quite as deep there, but whatever works for you. And then of course on phone, they're going to stack on top of each other. There's a little contact, there's the map underneath. And again, if you want to change the height of it on mobile, just do exactly the same thing. Paste that code in there, put in the height and widths you want. Great, let's go back to desktop. Okay, well, I want this to be a bit more in keeping with my site. I mean, that's great, that little color there, but I've been using this sort of blue and black gradient in my section, so I want to change it to that. So if we go into the section that we imported up here, blue tab to the section, background's always under content. There's the color they put in there. Let's get rid of that. It's disappeared because everything's white on white now. I'm going to put that same gradient I've been using for the rest of the page. Add background gradient. I'll leave the default blue in there. You can read that quite nicely. But the green, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to change it to a black. Make sure everything's going to stand out. That's great. Let's make sure everything's going to stand out. That's fantastic. And this map as well, theirs was kind of dark in color. Not too much you can do with this, but you can play around with the filters and get some nice effects. So if we make sure we're in the code module again by clicking anywhere on it, we're in the code module, we can go to design, go down to filters. You can play with the hue and change the colors around. If you want it to be oversaturated, bring it over here. If you want it to be black and white, you can take the saturation all the way down. Like I say, just play with some of these filters. You can get some great effects. But pretty much all I'm going to do is I'm going to roll down to where it says blend down here. And these are great for blending background colors with images and things. I think I'm going to use color dodge. And it turns it to that nice sort of blue color. Almost fits in more with our theme there. But that, of course, is entirely up to you. But do use these filters you can make. If I turn that back to normal again, you can use things like sepia to make it look like an old worldy map type thing. Play around, whatever works for you. Let's take that back. And put my color dodge back in there. Great. Well, let's preview this thing, make sure it's going to work. I'm going to save draft. Or publish if you're ready. Let's preview the changes. Let's roll on down to the bottom again. There's our little map section. Contact us. There's the details. There's our live Google map. If I put my mouse over it, you've got to hold down your control key. If you don't and you try to start rolling, it'll tell you to use control and scroll. So if you hold down your control or command on a Mac, you can just roll in, zoom out, zoom in to your heart's content. And of course, anybody here can get directions and things like that. So it's really useful. So that's pretty much it. It's really easy. There's 5 of these different things. I just use that one with the map because a lot of people don't understand if you haven't got an API key, you can still use a live Google map. But that works for me, and we've got several others to choose from here. As I said before, I'll put this URL down below, and you can start integrating these into your site very easily. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Don't forget that Divi 5 is still in the beta stage. It's not released its final version yet. Although I'm working with it mainly to familiarize myself with it, all my client sites I'm keeping on Divi 4, probably until the 5.01 release. But by then I shall know exactly what I'm doing when I'm ready to pull the trigger. But Divi 5 seems absolutely awesome to me, and I really can't wait. I'm going to be doing all my sites in Divi 5 ASAP. We got some great news if we go over here. Elegant Themes, the makers of the Divi theme, Divi 5 in this case, are giving away 8 free sections of 404 designs. And for anybody that doesn't know, if somebody navigates to your website and goes to a page that doesn't exist or there's a problem, it'll give a 404 error, and I'm sure you've seen them before. So if I just type in anything random that I haven't got a page of that name, it's going to pop up a 404 page like this, and this is one of their layouts, and I'll show you how to download and install this and configure it for your 404 pages. We've got a little button there, will take us back to the home page. Really easy to do, so let's get started. I'll put this URL down below. First thing you're going to want to do is check them out. So if we go down, you hit the preview button. Here are the designs. There's the one I use. We'll use that one again, perhaps. So to download them, if we roll back up here to the menu, download 8 404 designs for free. Now, when you get down here, it may ask you to put in your email address. I'm already signed into my Elegant Themes account, so it's going to let me download the files. It's going to download them to your default download location. Once downloaded, it's going to download them as a zip file. We need to extract them. I'm going to right click and extract here. And it's going to give us 2 folders there. We've got some style versions, which are the ones you see over here. And it's got some unstyled versions right here. I'm going to go into the styled ones. And both these folders will give you the same options. Here are our downloaded JSON files, and they correspond 1 through 8 to 1 through 8 of the designs here. Or if you want to upload them all, you can use this one at the bottom. It says all beside it. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, how to get them on your site. If we go to your site, we're using the Divi 5 theme. Unfortunately, these are not compatible with Divi 4. I did try, but the layouts are not compatible with Divi 4, so it won't load. We're using Divi 5 here. So what we need to do is go down to Divi, to the Divi library right here. Here's the one that I downloaded previously. Let's get rid of that one. Now I'm going to go up to Import and Export. Click on that. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to hit Import because we want to import them. Where it says no file selected there, if I just pull this over so you can see. I'm going to use number 8 again. I'm just going to left click and drag it and drop it where it says no file selected there. Or you can browse to it by hitting choose file and going to your download locations. I'm not going to check import presets. I'm going to import Divi Builder layouts. And it'll reload. And there it is again. So to make this work on your 404 page, we need to create a little custom template. Really easy to do. If we now go down to our theme builder, still under Divi here, theme builder. Here's the one I created before. It's just a custom body. Let's trash this whole thing and we'll start from scratch. Save the changes. Let's just refresh this page quickly. Now if I do a bad link up here, it'll give us a generic 404 page. There it is like that. As you saw for the one earlier, it's much more interesting. So let's go back. Okay, so we've gone down to Divi in the theme builder. Once at the theme builder, I'm going to go over here to add a new template. I'm going to build a new template. Right down the bottom here, I'm going to select the 404 page. And for anybody that watch yesterday's video, if you wanted to do a custom search results page, we put a search bar in the top there. You can do that here also, and I'll do that in another video. So once we got the 404 page selected, we'll create template. As you can see, it's put in there. We're using the custom header and footer that we've got everywhere else. Now I'm going to add a custom body. Now we can't add from the library because it's not a page template, it's actually a section. So we're going to go ahead and build custom body. We go ahead and build from scratch. By default, it puts in a section and prompts us to put in the row. I'm just going to add a new section. This is where we can add it from the library. Add from the library. There it is, styled 404 section 8. We're going to use this section. Fantastic. We popped it in there. We can get rid of this section at the top. We just take a look at this. Looks like it's going to work well. I want to make sure that it's got 100% viewable height on all devices. So my section here, I was quite surprised to see that they hadn't done that already, but they were using viewable height in the padding up here, and I'm going to change that too. I'll just show you how you can customize this just a little bit. So I'm going to give it a minimum height of 100 viewable height, VH. That way it's always going to be full screen on all devices. Now this is all very well. If we go into the button here, they've actually put a dynamic link in, which is great. If we look under content, here's the link, and it's linking to the home page. Obviously you can change that to anything you want, but that's pretty standard to have it going back to your home page. I would like to put my logo in here too though. So if we look at the page structure over in wireframe view, we've got our section, we've got our row, a single column, we've got our heading and button. I want to add my logo, so I'm going to add an image module. There it is right there. Fantastic. I'll put in my light color logo. Great. And I want this to be up above the heading there. Great. Just to show you what's going on, if we flip back. That's great, but it's way too far down for me. They've done this with padding instead of using the great new flex system. So I'm going to switch it around. If we go back into the actual column it's in, or the section, or the row, we're in the section right now. Let's have a look at the spacing. They're using viewable width for theirs. I'm going to take that away. I'm just going to reset it so it'll float back up to the top. I'm going to use a fantastic new flex system, which is still in the section. We're still on design. Layout at the top here. It's set to flex already. I want mine to be dead in the middle. Perfect, just like that. And that's all there is to it, really. Once you're happy, we can save our changes. Exit the Visual Builder. We want to make sure everything's saved on this page. Now if we go back to the website, I type in a incorrect URL up here. It's going to pop up with that newly styled 404 page. And as you can see, it looks a lot better than the generic one was there. And back to home button, we'll take you back there. Of course, if you wanted to, you could add a dynamic link also to the logo. Just click on it. Link down below. To add a dynamic link, go to the little hamburger icon, click on it. Homepage link. Or of course you can put any link in there you want. If you wanted to change out that background, I think it works pretty well for me. On tablet and mobile, it does shrink down a little bit too much though. It's sort of O on tablet and partial O on mobile. But I haven't got a problem with that. If you want to, you can put different images for each style. Pretty sure that's going to be in the section. Let's have a look up here. We'll go into the section. Background's always under content. There it is, the third tab along. There's that actual image. And of course, you can swap it out for whatever you want. Want something fairly dark. Let's throw in one of these crazy cars, perhaps. And you can also blend it with a background color if you want to make it more legible. I noticed they had a blue up the front here. It's kind of a nice blue. We go back to our image. We can roll down background image blend, multiply it with that blue. Makes that a lot more legible. And of course, if you wanted to change it on tablet and mobile, On tablet, you could have a completely different one. Let's have that one perhaps. And again, it's blended with the blue. And then on mobile, you could have a completely different one again. That actually works quite well. Let's put a different one in on mobile. It's crazy fella, perhaps. So we'd have that on mobile, this on tablet, and this on desktop versions. Again, we'll save the changes, exit out, make sure everything's saved on this page. We'll go back up here. Again, type in a bad URL. And there it is. Really easy to customize. Really nice little option for a 404 page. Let's go back home. So again, I'll put this URL down below the video. It really is that easy. So I hope you enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them if I can, or make a little demo video just like this one. Elegant Themes, the folks behind the Divi theme here, have just released 7 table designs for Divi 5, and it's an absolutely free download. I'll put this URL down below. I downloaded one just to test it out, and here it is. Really nice looking, really easy to implement and download and customize to your needs. And I'll take you through the whole thing, how to download, import, and then customize it so you can use it for your needs. Well, let's get started. I'm going to edit this page with Divi. And if we roll down, here's the one I imported just now. Let's get rid of this and we'll start from scratch. Okay. So once you get to this page, you're going to want to see what they've got going on down here. Have a look at the video, read the page. If you just want a preview, we've got a table of contents here. We can just hit the preview and roll down. That's the one I use for mine today. And as you can see, they've got several different variants here. To download, just go back up here. We can hit download 7 styled tabs. Now I've got a button showing. If it's the first time you've come here, you may have a little box that asks you for your email. I'm already signed into my account over here. Once you put your email in, you'll get this button to download the files. Simply left click on it. It'll download them to your default download location. Great. Once downloaded, navigate to your downloads folder. It's going to download as a zip file here, so we need to extract it. I'm just going to right click and extract here. And it's going to extract to a little folder called styled. If I double click on that, just left clicking, it's got our JSON files. And we've got table 1 through 7 here. If you want to upload all of them, you can do that easily with this one here that says all behind it, funnily enough. How are we going to get them into our site? Really easy. If we navigate to our dashboard now, once at the dashboard, we want to go down to Divi, and then we want to go down to Divi Library, just down here. Just left click. It's going to take you to this page. Here's the one I imported before. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, to import, we need to go up to the top over here where it says import and export. Just left click. We want to import, so we want to click on the import tab here. I'm going to drag whichever file I want over to where it says no file selected here, or you can hit choose file and browse to your download location that way if you want to. So I'm just going to pull this back over here. Let's go with number 1 again. That's the one I used before. I'm just going to left click. I'm going to drag it. I'm going to release where it says no file selected. As you can see, it's there now. I'm not going to import the presets. I'm just going to hit the import Divi builder layout. And this is a fairly quick process. It'll just reload the page once it's done it. And there we have it. As you can see, we've got our little style table section 1. If we look over here, it tells us it's a section. It's not a row. It's just not an individual module, and it's not a page layout. It's a section layout. So we can go back to our page now. Remember, I opened it in the builder. I want to add a new section. Little blue button to add a section here. I want to add from the library. Now, if you click on here and you don't see it, just go back and refresh your page. I'm going to go ahead and reload. as I opened the builder before we actually imported that. It's probably still showing my last one. As we didn't save, our section is still there, so we can get rid of that. Yeah, now I'm going to go down, hit the little blue button. Add from library. There it is. Left click on it. Use this section. Roll on down. And there it is. It's imported it perfectly. Now to see what's going on here, let's take a look at it in wireframe view. Go up to the left hand side, we've got a wireframe view here. It looks like we've got a group module. I'd say it's set to flex with the direction to the right because we've got an image, then a heading. You look in there. Yeah, there's the image, there's the heading. Design layout. Yeah, it's set to go from left to right. Fantastic. Then we have an email or whatever it was, and some various information, and a little button to take you where you wanted to go. This is all very well. Let's go back to the regular site. But of course, you may not have somebody called Lisa Fisher. So these aren't going to do you much good. To edit one, here's the group module, the grey tab. Just going to left click on there. We're in the group. If we look in the content, we should have that header and image. There they are. First thing we're going to do is want to swap out her image for one of your real team members. And there it is right there. I left click on that. It's going to open our media library. Now the first thing you want to notice is these are all square images. And they've used one-to-one images because it's really easy to make them into the circles like they've got there. You can do that with some radius. So I'd suggest you use square images for this. So let's grab one of our own. I've got a nice square image here. Let's just drag it in, left click, drag it, and release. And there it is right there. Perfect. We'll upload that image. As you can see, it's changed it there. But of course, that's not her name. Let's put her name in. We go back with the little back arrow now and take us back to the group and the elements. Name's in the heading here. Just go under text. Give her a name. Sounds like a real person, doesn't it? There we go. And of course, you can do the same for these right here. That's just a text module with an email address in it. Put her email address in there, obviously. Same with the position right here. We just click on this module. There it is. I'll leave that just like that. I'm sure you know how to change that. We've got one here that's, I guess, level 1 or level 2 or whatever it is. If you have trouble going into it, we can just easily go back to wireframe mode. Make sure we're in the right one. Here it is right here. There's the L1. We can change it right here. Looks like, if I flip back here, it's only set to handle 2 letters. If I put more than that in there, it breaks it. And of course, if you want to get rid of it, just select it, hit the little 3 dots. You can just delete it. I'll leave it there though. Let's undo that. Control Z. Perfect. So we put our own in there, which is great. What if you want to add another one or delete one? Or to delete one, just delete the row right here. To add a new one, to add another one below Jason down here. Let's go into the row itself and let's clone it with the 2 little squares there. Or duplicate it, left click. We got one down below. And we can just go in there and edit that to our heart's need. Remember, it's the group module. Image. And we'll put our own fella in there. Remember, I'm using square images for this again. Upload. And of course, we can go back, change his name, etc., just like we did before. Another great name here. And you know how to edit the rest of those. The only one I didn't cover there was a view, which is just a link. Of course, we didn't change the link for any of these, but I'm sure you know how to do that. It's just a button that they've got going on here. We go inside the button itself. Again, make sure we're on the right one. It's the last one. Text. It's going to say view. And of course, you just want to put in the link wherever you want to take people where they click on it. When you're happy, we can flip back. Great. Well, presuming you've got your little grid looking the way you want it and you've entered all your team members or however you want to use this, You might want to edit the text up here. Again, just click on it. Dark tab for the module. Over in content, it's text. Just maybe say our team. And of course, you can change the font to whatever you want. Over in design here, it's a heading. It's an H2, obviously. Change the font, just left click on here. Roll over any of these, it'll give you an example, and there's plenty to choose from here. Once you're happy, just click on it. I'll leave mine as it is. And of course, you can change the position and the weight of it up here and whatever color you want. I'm going to change that to a white because let's change that background out. So I'm going to go ahead and reset it with a little circle arrow there. I'm just going to make it white. Perfect. And just to make our background a little more interesting, it's in the section here, blue tab for the section. Background's always under content. There it is. Let's chuck a blue in there. Let's reset that. I use the default dark blue, which is fine. Let's merge it with an image. I'm going to go to the third one across, which is an image. We'll add a background image. A crazy looking office right there. That's fine. If you want to leave it like that, you can make it parallax or whatever you want to do. True parallax, it'll move at a slightly different rate than the foreground. Well, they've got what they call CSS parallax, also known as fixed background, whereas it'll stay exactly where it is. But I'm going to turn parallax off. I'm going to merge it with that blue that we put in there, simply by rolling down a little bit. Background image blend. Let's multiply it with that. Perfect. And that'll do me. So let's make sure this is going to work on the front end. I'm going to save draft. And we'll preview. Here's the little grid demo we did yesterday with the flex. There's our new little team section. And that's pretty cool looking. We've got all our team members. We've got their emails. Little heading right here. I'm quite sure level 5, I guess, level 1. But you can delete any of these items if you don't want that on yours. And of course, we've got the link here. It'll take you to their profile page or their social media page, whatever link you decide to put in there. Very easy to do, very handy little things. And with the new group module and nested rows and things like that, it's becoming increasingly easier to make tables and things. Before I go, let's just go back in here. Let's see what it's going to look like on tablet and mobile. At the moment, we've got it on desktop. That's okay. It's kind of dropped down into 2 columns, but it still looks quite tidy. I imagine it'll stack on mobile. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's all left aligned nicely. Perfect. Just wanted to check that out. So there you have it, guys. There's 7 free table designs from the folks over at Elegant Themes there. Really easy to add, as you can see. Don't forget, I'll put this URL down below. Just click on it. It'll take you to this page. You're going to have to put your email in unless you're signed into your account. But they're very good. They don't spam you or anything like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions either about Divi 4 or Divi 5, obviously we've been working with the Divi 5 theme here today, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, this is still in the beta stage. They've got a release date of the 26th of February. We're in January at the moment, 2026, but the final release is coming out soon. All my clients, I'm keeping their sites on Divi 4 for the time being, probably until 5.01, 5.02. I don't like to gamble with any of my client sites, but I've made plenty of personal sites with Divi 5 here. I'm making these videos to try and get ahead of the game so that when I'm ready to pull the trigger, I know exactly what I'm doing. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignertechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.